Right, that's so much easier. He knows
That's
it.
a new record.
Well, welcome to Transformers, the show. This Friday, we've got a fantastic show for you today. We've got, we actually, believe it or not, we've got 5 panels, but Alexis is running a bit late, so we're just going to be waiting for him. We've got, foreplay, our 5 greatest Autobots, which we think are our 5 greatest Autobots. We also have TFCon third-party news, and there's lots and lots of news. So Alexis, the King of Waffle, will be going through that. We've got a discussion at the end, which is kind of like a round robin. We've got multiple questions coming from the panel, so that should hopefully be quite interesting and at least be quite different. And although we've got no Alfire tonight, he is busy setting up his OnlyFans account. So if you're interested, you could use a special code and join. And he's going to have a special. He's going to have a special. I think pictures, which is like how prison life has changed him. And of course, within about a couple of weeks, Alexis will be launching his own OnlyFans account with his own code as well. So it'd be good to support both of them out there. And now, yes. So look forward to that, guys, and hopefully we'll start this intro when I can find it.
Oh, I like it.
God, that is far too short.
Make it stop, dude.
I didn't realize
Alexis is back. Oh, he's here. Welcome,
Wow.
Alexis. Nice to see you.
Wow. I'm so glad to see you guys. I'm so glad that you guys are here tonight to say Friday night, because before you guys
need to apologise for being late, Alexis. It's okay. Andy,
if you notice, I did apologise.
Yeah, we'll start with mainline because we have got some, even though we weren't expecting to at this point. But we have got some. We'll start with the
some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Important first news.
Jamie, is there a delay between someone talking and you? No, is there a delay?
No, it's just Jamie.
Just me.
Perfect timing.
Important news. You can get a Megatron face mask in Boots at the moment. That's what we're all looking for. It's what we all want for a Christmas gift, everyone. £4.50, very reasonably priced. There you go.
It's nice to see Boots doing that at last, representing people like myself.
Yeah. And thank you to Safraz. Thank you for the spreading the news.
When you say face mask, you mean like a night pack, like something like regeneration.
Well,
you would be the expert on this, wouldn't you?
I mean, no offense, mate, I don't know. It's an aloe vera Megatron face mask.
Alexis, if you're interested, they are going to do some black condoms for people who go past.
Anyway, moving on. So yeah, all right. This is quite interesting.
You would know this.
What happened? God, that response took too long, Alexis. What happened was, obviously, we were waiting for the Hasbro Pulse live stream that they said was going to be at 8 p.m. our time. Somehow, some way, somebody's cocked up, and for some members, they were able to access it earlier this afternoon. So we've had some screenshots from what was seen shared by TFW 2005 and some other people on social media. So we're going to go through them, and we may have more news later on once the proper stream has gone. I was going to call it a live stream, but that's a secret seems to be out the back.
Yeah, why you bastards?
Here we have probably the big news, I'm guessing, is the Beast Wars Magmatron from Beast Wars Neo, originally at least, and also Beast Wars 2. So, yes, the purple thing in the background.
It looks really good. That's impressive. That looks impressive.
I think people's reaction to it seems to have been mostly very positive. I know of the character. I know a bit about him. I know, obviously, he's not Megatron. He is a different Decepticon leader.
Magnetron, right? You said
Magmatron. Magmatron. Yeah.
So remind me, he's a combination of 3 characters. Is Ironhide is the elephant, and then you got the other 2. I can't remember the other 2, but basically,
no, not this. No,
No.
that's
That's
different.
Magma
That's
Boss.
the
That's
Magna
Magma
Boss.
Boss.
Yeah,
oh, that's Magna Boss. My bad.
This is a combination
Beast Wars
of
Flex.
3 dinosaurs, and they call them, because Japanese and everything, Landsaurus, Seasaurus, and Skysaurus. The famous dinosaurs that we all know.
Yeah.
And that's what we have here. But
So clearly it's a plesiosaur, it's a Giganotosaurus, and then sorry.
Shake kick bears.
I have a relevant question instead of Alexis' nonsense. Is this
No, you're not allowed questions.
Commander class?
The live stream. This was the only thing I could console me was this.
Which one is it?
Do you call it Alexis?
Which bear is it?
Bear.
Rumpy Bear. Should have known. Anyway, there you go.
I'm not grumpy.
There is Lansaurus, and there's Magmatron in all his robotic glory combined from the 3 different dinosaurs. So there's the lads. Hey.
Commander class.
This is Commander class.
Commander
yes,
class,
this is going to be Commander class. So what are we talking, 90 quid?
Yep.
So unless we get more inflation, but we'll find out. There's the box art, 3-in-1, which I suppose it is really. I think for a Beast Wars figure, because I'm not a Beast Wars fan, as we may have discussed once before, I think this looks good. But again, this isn't something I'm going to rush out to pre-order.
Yeah,
I'll do a Rohan on this one.
Yeah.
Do they transform individually as well, like individual robots? Or is it all just?
I don't think the dinosaurs do, because they didn't show anything. They're like the 3 parts of him that combine together.
Is it Beast Wars 2 or Beast Wars Neo or something?
Beast Wars Neo, and then he was
Neo.
So it's Neo was the first one, I believe. But again, Beast Wars fans, please feel free to check on that.
I count myself as a Beast Wars fan. I know nothing about this character, so it wasn't from the original.
You're
Beast
not
Wars
a true
series.
No, he's not. He's not original Beast Wars, is he? I think. I mean, to be fair, even
He's
with
the
my
Japanese
limited
Beast
knowledge,
Wars.
Yeah. So that was the big news. We also had.
So as I say, ironically, Beast Wars Neo did continue the whole Unicron piece about Unicron being embedded in the Earth, and they came back to the Earth to try and resurrect Unicron and the Dark Energy, and that's where it all spun off from. Sorry.
Okay. Our very own Lisa Simpson. And there you go. There's the back of him. We always like to have a look at the back of him. Nice detail on the feathers. And did I hear some learned person in our chat mention that they were feather missiles?
They are feather missiles, or they should be. That's how it was originally. It does look that way.
Feather missile. I don't know. It feels like he's setting himself up to fail there. I think it looked quite good. I think this one I might.
It does look awesome. Yeah. It's another smash for me.
He looks very Toon-esque. He looks excellent.
What's the 1027 about, which was on the bottom of the screen?
That's for the stream. Was today's date, 27th of October.
Yeah, it's just the American way of writing the date. So 27th of October. Yeah.
All right.
As Rohan has just said, Stranger Things. We have seen this before, but they had it there in hand this time. And there's the pizza box, and there's the vehicle mode. I don't think. Or certainly I haven't seen a picture online yet of them having transformed him into the robot mode. But as I remember it looks a little bit Ironhide-esque in terms of the robot form, just
it
like
is
the yellow van.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a Stranger Things fan, this floats your boat. Excellent. You're going to be able to pick that up relatively soon.
Is it? Are they doing the? Oh, they're not doing the. Is it Jigawookie? What's the bag thing called in Stranger Things? The original one.
Yes, Bob.
Gorgon.
Gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola. Is it Mega Gorgon or whatever it's called?
Demigorgon.
I'm
just trying to figure out what you're on about then.
What would that make?
No, we don't need more questions about.
Oh, come on!
No, shush.
Move on. Move on.
This is the finest add-on kit that you could ever get. Now, look, when I first saw this, I didn't really look closely at it. All I thought was, why are they giving him 2 random light bars? It just seems bizarre. But then, of course, it's not bizarre. It's genius, because the bars are the health and ammunition bars. So you can clip them to your Gamer Edition figures, at least Optimus Prime, and you can make it look like he's in the game. Wow. Genius. The finest add-on kit. Finally, an add-on kit that I would invest in, except I won't because I haven't got the figure and I have no interest in buying it. So there you go. There's that. That's from Go Better. I'm sure that's what they're called. Go Better
Studios.
Yep. Thank you. Yes, there you go. I can
know
read
what?
when I look at the things.
I have the same like light and health bars above my bed, and they aren't the same. as that.
They're always depleted.
Much
aren't
smaller,
they?
I'm guessing.
Zero life.
Anyway, this broke just in the last kind of hour or so. So that toy guy, who you may know is a reviewer, and he was at TFN this year. If you were at TFN, he shared this photo. I don't think it was his photo. It was taken in a store somewhere in the world, and it is in-box photos of Junkie on Scrap Heap. Now we've seen him. We've had leaks of him, but we haven't seen him in box, and we haven't seen at all Gamer Edition Starscream, and there he is next to the Junkie on Scrap Heap. So these are two Voyager class figures, and yeah, potentially our first look at them.
Starscream looks good, doesn't he? From what we can say.
I mean, to me, it just looks like an upscaled version of the one that we had back in the day when it kind of came out, which was a decent enough figure. Not my favourite.
He looks a bit smaller, doesn't he, bro?
Well, in the box he does, doesn't he?
For a Voyager, yeah.
So just to confirm, that this is the first look at it. No one's ever seen like this out the box.
No, the Starscream nobody's seen at all. We knew it was coming.
Really?
And we kind of could guess what it looked like.
It's
But,
like
I mean,
those musical artists you like, Alexis, the ones that hide in closets. No one's seen them yet.
And are now locked up in a kind of box, which we call a cell. Anyway, moving on. These were shared by Mark Lonas right at the start of the week. So this is Legacy United Chase, which a lot of people seem to be excited about. And these are just some in-hand photos that lovely Mark took of him. And it looks good. It's not my kind of thing because I'm not a Rescue Bots fan, but you know, it's a mold that looks like it has potential.
It looks awesome. I love that. I think it's the best of the wave, to be honest with you, personally. But that's just me.
But that's it. That's why it's good to have our own points of view on these things. You can enjoy every different element of it. I mean, you're wrong.
That's a good shot. I'm
only joking.
Sorry. The shot with the
don't be sorry. Just don't interrupt.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Everybody take a shot every time he says sorry.
The shot where he's
So maybe don't continue.
No, the shot where he's using the blast
Go on, Alexis, get it out.
The shot where he's using the blast effects as in his feet. All chug formers have 5-minute report, so she put blast effects with the feet.
A lot of them do.
No.
So like
not all of
some
them,
of them do, but not all of them.
I haven't seen that before. That shot. I think that's a very clever way of using the effects. So everyone thinks they're like.
You've asked that before.
I love that
picture.
I love that picture of Chase and Bludgeon.
We'll talk
the look
offline.
on Bludgeon's face. He looks so shocked to be being arrested by a character.
Especially by Chase, yeah, who's much
Yeah,
smaller.
Like, what the hell? There you go.
Do you think they'll provide some third-party handcuffs
for the toy? Probably.
Pink fluffy ones.
Toy.
Anyway, moving on. This is Magnius, and we've seen this on the streams and stuff. And Prime vs. Prime's done a review of it online and shared some photos. So this is the one that turns into essentially a vehicle. It's a Rock Lord, but it's not a Rock Lord. And it kind of seems to divide opinion. Some people really love it, and they love the look, and they love the aesthetic. And other people like it's not a friggin' Rock Lord. It's just a vehicle. You've slapped some bits of rock.
I've not actually watched that review yet, but I will be watching Prime vs. Prime's review of this, so I look forward to it.
Yeah, I don't want to open up the whole kettle of fish, but the fact of the matter is I think his reviews have got better. And so I think he's worth watching.
I mean, he's
much
got
like us. He's aged
people watching this stuff, and
with extra
people
wine.
who complain.
We have that many people. If you were to add up how many people we have and multiply it many times. Anyway, there's he is next to Bumblebee. So you get a sense of his size. There's Dying Ironhide, and there he is next to Prime.
Did you say Ironhide?
Ironhide. Yay! There's animated Bumblebee, the new Legacy one, which is looking nice. Tooled up with the weaponizer part, so you can have a giant rock hammer and just the roof of the truck. And
I think Bristol mentioned just before he choked him out. I think Bristol's talking about what he did last night. I'm not sure, which is relevant for a Transformers show.
Might be talking about Ian and his guns. Now, there you go. Vehicle mode, side by side with.
Toothpick.
Sorry, is that a retool officially?
It does
then,
look
or-
like it. Doesn't it?
I think there's going to be shared engineering. I don't know if it's an actual retool. I haven't seen it
Well,
confirmed.
no,
but it's
but
likely.
most things have shared engineering, right? But is it a retool? Do we suspect it's
We
a
don't
new
know.
figure? Okay.
We
fine.
we
He
just
said
said
sorry.
It
I
could
should have
be.
made this a drinking game every time he says sorry.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
just take it as
No.
I said
I
that. We should do
apologize.
shots. Let's do shots.
Oi,
Everybody
oi,
at
you
home.
can fuck
shots.
off. You can fuck off. I am.
I can go on with the news.
Beautiful.
Mute him. Yeah.
There he is next to Bumblebee and Prime versus Prime's fingers. And there he is next to some nice blast effects looking kind of cool in that one, I have to admit. Although
I like
I
his-
just look
I
at it and
like
think
it- I like-
Flintstones car. I just
does
expect
look
Fred
Yeah, yeah.
Flintstone's legs going 10 a time a dozen than me.
Mad Max. It's very
If
Mad
it was
Max
covered
as
in
well.
rocks.
A little bit. Yeah.
I like his photo. Prime versus
Anyway,
Prime is very
shall we
similar
do
to
some
our Jamie.
third-party
It's very
news?
good
Because there's a
photo.
little bit. A little bit of the.
Believe it or not, this is the fun part.
So this is Studio or Studio 01, depending on what they're calling themselves, and this is their Unicron, but it's done in Transformers Energon colours, which is what they've confirmed it to be. And I said it was a while back.
additional to the what they've actually got on the side there. If you go back to the last picture, on the left hand side where the rings are, they've actually got additional.
You said sorry
art-
there again, Alexis. That means you.
Everybody drink.
He still hasn't made his
Yeah.
point.
They've got
I
additional-
agree. I can't get.
They have.
It's going to kill me
additional-
by the end of this.
Additional architecture. If you look at the side with the
Mate,
rings
I have
with the,
photos of it. Just shut up and let me go through the photos. You'll see it. You don't need to jump in.
You've been muted for 2
I've
minutes.
done this
as
before. It's
punishment.
not my first rodeo. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, very dark, much darker colours. I like the colour scheme. I think it's more interesting than the normal one, but that's me personally. Again, it's a subjective view. You might differ. That photo looks awesome with the background.
does
additional
look cool,
spikes.
yeah.
If you look around the rings, there's
So we can see the additional spikes. Yes, he's still going.
Jesus
Additional
Christ.
spikes.
Could have just started with that, Alexis.
Dan! Dan! Anyway, there you go. And it's got the light inside, which I assume the previous one had as well. And the more opens up, you've got the detail. Look, some spikes around the side. Don't know if anybody noticed that yet.
no,
Looking
there
nice.
was
The
no
more
light in
opens
the
up,
original-
very
there was
good.
no light in the original one. The light.
And
Right,
a behind shot.
Alexis, don't talk over other people. Mandy, breathe a bit. Ask Alexis for his input on this because he's third party sort of expert. So
He is our third-party expert, and he has pointed out that there are differences with this and the original release.
right, Alexis, what do
That's
you
that.
think?
Your turn to talk now, Alexis.
Oh, sorry. So there's additional.
Spikes? Let me guess. Spikes?
So if you look to where the rings are, there's additional spikes as well in the planet mode. They appear in the shoulders and the shins of the robot as well. They put in additional light as well in the actual main planet mode. I don't know if it appears in the robot mode, but again, it takes C4 batteries, I believe, as well. So
I think his fist lights up, doesn't it?
Would you smash it, Alexis? Would you get this?
if I had an affiliation with the color scheme, I would. I think the original personally is my favorite. I still have that, and that's posed with my two ultra metal, like the Rodimus and the Galvatron that you don't like, Jamie.
You won't be getting this then.
I had no space or
I
color.
love it when you answer a question for him, Andy. It's great.
Well, it's just felt like he answered the
Is-
question and then started telling us about everything else on the shelf.
Magic,
I just wanted to be clear.
This is the last of the 5 Combaticons at Legend Scale and Magic Square blast off.
Nice shot.
You can buy some Shozy, you can buy some all your other reputable retailers as well. If they sell Magic Square, it's pretty hot to trot. I've seen a lot of these photographs around. Combination mode with Brute's Curse. Also, you get the toy version as well. The toy version it scales very well with the other. They've got the Devastator and the Minosaur as well. It's very well articulated. So if you're into what's his name, Brute's Curse, then it's well worth a pickup.
Very true.
And then we get onto the TFCon third-party preview panel and the photos they're from, which we will go through in order by company. Off we go. Mechanical Skull Studios. We've seen this before. This is the Armada Starscream. little bit more
Are you in for
information.
are you in for this, Andy? This is a Legend scale version of.
No, because I don't
Starscream.
think it particularly looks any better than the Hasbro version, so I just don't feel a need to pick it up.
Well,
If
I guess
thought it was
if
miles
you're
better, I
in
would.
for the character, you'd be in for this, but there is no other Legend
It's solid.
scale of Marvel
It's solid.
characters available.
It does
So
look
it's
solid,
the first that they're going to release. It's a good way to
Sword.
lead, and it looks very good. I would say it's on point with the Chug version. I wouldn't say there are any, unless Andy corrects me, I wouldn't say there are any advantages or disadvantages over that, apart from the
Swindle.
fact that
This
my-
one has a better
was that
sword
smash
wing
wing?
that looks
Sorry.
more like the proper
Was it?
sword wing
Sorry,
that the original
sorry,
toy
sorry.
had. So in
And
that
I would
sense,
say
this
it's
one
on
looks
par.
better.
And Andy would correct me. It looks
Oh.
on par with the Chug version, apart from the cockpit, it looks like it's different.
Minicon.
But that's Swindle, yeah.
Yeah. So
Enter.
there's that as well. Enter the dragon.
Disconnect my earphones, please.
I'm so glad we can all share in this moment.
We're only live on the
Brilliant.
internet.
it was the look on his face when he looked back at the camera. It was like, oh. Anyway, collection space. We'll continue because I think some of this stuff we've seen and some we haven't, and some is just weird anyway. So this is Little Bee from Collection Space, which is a female iteration of Bumblebee for reasons.
Why
So-
though?
And
Why?
lots of different bits. Because Japan. And it's just what they do, isn't it?
Just this.
And
I might
there you
actually
go.
for this.
Okay, there's wheels.
Yeah, one for all the thirsty.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm back. Sorry, that was
Sorry.
Don't say sorry,
we're
you're
all
back.
sorry
Don't
too.
say sorry, you're going to kill us.
We're all sorry too.
And there's the alt mode. The alt mode is actually quite impressive.
Alt
It
mode is
does,
awesome.
I was getting impressed with that.
And available
this is-
January 2024.
technically, if you look at what it is a shell former, most of it actually just pops
Obviously.
off.
Yeah.
So, but if Hasbro is watching, this is how you make a shell former. It disconnects. It gives you options of two modes. You can have it attached, detached, and from what I was looking at and heard very briefly from the end of the last robot modes, everyone is in agreement that the robot is actually very good. It looks very good. It's a good action.
As I said, I'm not going to smash it because I think it's a bit inappropriate when it's a female.
No, go on, say it. Say it.
it.
Anyway, Kang Toys. It's a shame that Ian couldn't make it today because I know he's a big Kang Toys fan, and obviously they've shown their photos and pictures
Massive.
of their upcoming Dinobot combiner, done in the same style as their Predacons. So there you go. You can see all the lads there.
So the two things about it is it's stylized.
No,
They are fucking huge, and they also combine. So
How huge? British huge, French huge,
American huge.
American would be huge.
XL baby.
Right,
I believe
Japanese huge, very tiny.
each individual figure in height will be about 8 inches. Each individual that Stegosaurus in length will be about 10 to 12 inches.
Pete's gone to get his tape
And
measure.
12 inches.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
Pete, how big's the
Is
Chug
that,
Voyager?
is that real 8 inches or 8 inches we would say to a partner?
That
nah,
is.
real,
Yeah.
real
Whoa.
engine, real.
Well, this is 8
I'm not
inches.
saying it looks. I'm not saying it looks bad, right? I'm not saying this looks bad at all because it is very stylized. But I just like the sword looks ridiculous. Why?
Yeah.
Why does
Sword.
it have to be so sword? Why does the
Can-
sword?
can I-
So, oh my god, you've got me doing it now. Why is the sword got to be so big? It just looks. It looks stupid.
Can I point
the
out that
figure, I'm sure
Ultraman?
is great.
I just didn't
And then-
use.
Swoop. That's
Okay,
Swoop,
now
isn't it?
go.
Yeah, Swoop, look at his wings. They're huge, aren't they?
I know the wingspan. How are you going to fit this on a shelf?
No.
Jesus
Like
Christ!
you said, very stylized. Looks very cool for what it is, but not really Dinobots.
No,
for me. You almost
I
have
think
to-
if you like their Predacons, you're going to go for this, aren't you?
So
I hope you
Mr.
just-
Bond,
Ultra Magnus.
It will be combining. Apparently,
Volcanic
just like
legs.
yeah. And there is the
There you go.
combined mode. Although that can't be. Is that actual size? Bloody hell! That
Yeah,
can't be on the floor. Perspective was confusing for a second.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's bigger than that man.
So
he's far away. He's far away.
this is the actual this is
There you
the
go,
actual thing.
Barbie.
It'll be about 22 inches. You said about size. You said can't believe that big. The Studio Series
No,
Ultra Magnus is 7.5
I'm not
inches.
saying it can't be 52 inches. It just for a second in the
Oh.
photo, it looked like stupidly big, like bigger than a
52.
small child.
I think
That's
Swoop,
funny.
Swoop looks like I think they've redesigned everything. It looks phenomenal. There's no like it's almost like a what's it called, like a Power Ranger. That's what it looks like. To me.
Yeah,
It's
but
like a
that's
Power
that. See, that's not a great thing because I remember when I first bought the Power of the Primes Predaking, and one of my children said to me, "Oh, is that Power Rangers?" No, it is not. Get out.
Get back
How
in
dare
your
you.
bed.
Anyway, Make Toys, who made this, which is their version of Slipstream called Slipwarm, and apparently we sold out on the Friday of TFCon. So whether you can get hold of one, I don't know.
So Ian will agree with it. They're probably the most versatile and posable seekers we have today. They are frustrating to fuck. A little bit. It's like
They're frustrating to what?
You said they were versatile.
Oh my god, that's on YouTube forever.
There is
Don't
very
use enough lube.
There's very so behind the head you can't see. If you can see the little dash of hair
dear.
behind head,
Like a
that's where
professional,
that's where the tip of their cone separates, and it does separate from the main body.
Right,
It's very
okay.
frustrating. So it's
Do
not
you
as
think
good.
we'll ever
So
do that? We'll ever do a top 5 Autobots that are frustrating to fuck? Like,
Join us next week.
Yeah.
Snarl.
Anyway, let's
let's
go
go
to
it's much better.
hello
was
Hello,
Dan
Robot
Gold
Toys.
plates?
Wait, just to confirm, right? So
Beast Wars.
Make Toys have done about 3 or 4 TFCon exclusives over the past, and they do tend to rack up. They do tend to double or triple in price. I had the Sunstorm before, which I sold, and then realized that I sold it for a very low price. So the guy was very happy.
Anyway,
this
Robot
is the
Toys with Beast Wars Megatron.
Very first ever Megatron Legend scale Beast Wars figure. So if you look at it, it potentially is the right scale for Beast Wars because they were obviously smaller. However, shut up. However, a T-Rex should be about the same size as Prime normally. So it's really weird how they're obviously a lot smaller in robot mode. So and they are teasing as well their Optimus Prime as well.
Shifting.
Cool.
You noob. I think it's more than a tease. They're showing off that they're doing it. I mean, you wouldn't chuck it up there if you're not doing it. So we're going to be getting them. So if you want a Legends class, or Legends style,
Rohan, have you seen the? I haven't seen the prices. Do you know the price,
No,
Rohan?
I haven't seen the prices of those. No.
So Metagate we've seen before, so we can skip through. This is their version.
I mean, chat's discussing what Autobots that they would like to smash, and I mean, like, have sex with, copulate with, Thunder Clash apparently means you have to be gentle because of his GPS. Just so
I've always thought that about Andy. Andy's a gentle lover. Andy's a gentle lover.
He'll be all right with me.
I mean, he's called Thunder Clash, not Thunder Gash, right?
Thunder Smash.
Hey, Rohan wins the internet.
Anyway, right, moving on. We've seen this before, but they haven't seen this, have we? This is their drift.
Metagate. Oh, yes, you have. This is just a different color. So.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like
all the
it.
face.
Is it creamy white?
Yeah, they've done the. It's a strong also transforms into a helicopter, which is like remember.
I remember seeing that one, but obviously a completely different color, and the head sculpt is different, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks different.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Okay.
In answer to your question, this is from chat. Someone's asked, is the event live? No, it's not live. Hasbro are liars. I don't actually think they ever said live, but they gave the illusion as if it could be live because they said they're streaming. Not streaming pre-recorded content.
A large corporation not being completely honest. Unheard of. Right, HDB Toys, After Battle Toys, these little things. You get those, don't you?
I like these.
They're $12 a pop. They're quite expensive.
They are quite expensive. Yeah.
40 mil. Bear with. That's quite small.
The thing about these is they look really
from
cool.
Your perspective,
I love the fact. Let me just clarify.
Pete is a giant.
Anyway, there's the Decepticons. Wasn't the reveal that they've got Constructicons on the way because they showed off Scrapper. And we're going to see a lot of Scrapper, and I'm not against that. Back to studio, and their Seed with its big purple ring. So, the purple ring, isn't that supposed to be a space bridge and also a stand for the planet? So it doubles. And he's a headmaster.
Mick Holland's just realised, have they ever been live? Have you? I don't know. I honestly don't know, Mick.
The whole world is crumbling down now. Maybe we're not live. Maybe this is
I was
recorded.
going to say, one
Grab
thing
your
you can know for
beers
sure,
and hug
Alexis
them
is
tight.
always live.
There you go.
We can
I told
pause
you.
this right now.
Big purple ring. There you go. And then it's a stand, and also looks a bit like the space bridge. So there you go.
It does.
He does.
From the
It's-
G1 counter.
He's made to sit with his own ring piece.
That's actually quite a good one. I'll give you that. He's a headmaster as well, which I hadn't realised till Ian, I think it was, pointing out.
Alpha Trion. Oh, interesting.
Speaking of a headmaster. Anyway, carrying on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Anyway, there we can see his
Yeah,
helmet.
kick your ass.
And
Well,
Alpha Trion
Ian's-
there as a little headmaster.
Ian
pretty
Tryon.
cool.
Arrow Fire Tryon.
And there he is again in superhero landing pose. Right. Okay. Iron Factory. Chaos Blaze. Have we seen this before? I felt like we have.
We have.
I feel like
Maybe
we have, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that based
we
off the
have. Move on.
Galvatron they did? Because it looks a bit like.
It's
got the feeling of it.
It's the Fallen, isn't it? So move on.
It's the what?
It's Megatron.
The
Fallen.
Oh,
move
right.
on. Move on.
Flames.
I'm
Oh,
not
boy.
interested in this, so you can carry on.
Oh, well, I'll move on now. There's Sideswipe, Samurai series.
So
I've seen
this
this
is a little
before.
bit. This is quite well. It's quite interesting because we haven't had a side involved in a long time. So I'm assuming that it would bring out a Sunstreaker mod as well.
You've got to, surely. I like the car.
So
mode as
obviously,
Nice spoiler.
it's done.
Hmm.
It's done in a slightly different mold to the original one. The original one obviously was more G1S. This is done in samurai form. But what car is that? Is there a car?
I don't
Looks
know.
like
The
a
front
Mac-
lights make it look like a Viacon from Transformers Prime.
Is that
Okay, I was gonna say, I was saying McLaren, but
Bugatti type thing.
Bugatti
Yeah, I don't-
maybe.
I've seen a lot of McLarens because I used to have a garage not far from where I lived in Leeds. It's definitely got a look of a real car, but somebody in the chat will be able to tell us. Magic Square, Magic and
Whee!
Square. What
Oh,
in the
no.
hell?
Yeah.
So this
So-
is their
So
little-
not to be confused, right? There's Master Made, which did the big head and the little body, and Magic Square now dipping their toes in the same thing. I don't know if Master Made and Magic Square are the same, and someone else might be able to correct me. But this is the first one, and it's a fully transforming Prime.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that the head just pops off. Master Made had the ability to pop off the big head and put on a normal head. But there's quite a lot of actually, look at the doors open, the chest opens, you've got the matrix there. There's quite a lot of actually articulation there for
there's a lot going on for a little figure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like
UA
I think it's 4 inches fucking tall, right? So Hammond,
We've seen Hammond
Yep.
build a figure
it-
going on.
pre-order comes with his stuff, right? So
Clear.
you got Swoop, and this is the too accurate version. Sorry, comic version.
Comic version.
If you look though as well, it comes with the flight stand, and it comes with the missiles, and the missiles can come in the foreign mode. So the other third party that's done this has been the Gigapower or Geiger Power, as he inputs it. And it wasn't their Chrome version; it was their second version, and they gave you launching missiles like that, launching missiles with Swoop. No one
This
else
is
has
the
done this, right?
shattered glass swoop, isn't it? The name
That is,
Turok,
yeah.
I've heard that
Turok.
somewhere. Is that from Star Trek? Or Turok?
No, Turok
Definitely heard
Turok
that
is
somewhere.
Turok is Dinosaur Hunter from Nintendo.
Yeah, I was going to say
Ah.
video game, isn't it? Yeah.
There you go. I knew I'd heard it
Okay.
somewhere before.
Turok is a Native American who used to hunt dinosaurs. I think he went back
Right.
in time with a bow and arrow. He started out, and it's a little bit like Halo.
All right.
It was futuristic and it's not relevant. And Bristol Yeti has made another comment against Hasbro, subtle comment to say at least someone is announcing a swoop.
Keep poking that bear.
Ooh,
He's
okay, right.
fighting the system tonight, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bisto, bitcho. Anyway, right, let's keep going.
Bitcho Yeti is that Bitcho Yeti you're saying, Andy?
Bitcho Yeti. I actually prefer your version. Right, let's move on. And also a little sea spray.
Yeah. So
very G1S.
normally, I think the last time I saw a TFCon at a sea spray at TFCon, it was I think it was like I want to say ID Toys or iGear
yeah, the
toys.
mini warriors.
iGear was
Yeah.
yes. Remember
Yeah.
that Rohan iGear. They did their version at TFCon. That was
That
what
was
15
so
years
long ago. Yeah, 15
It
years ago.
was. They did it as
Wow.
a 2-pack. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I thought, is that iGear? No, it is New Age." So
What's next, Andy?
So it will be a
Non-F.
very. So
Non-F.
New Age has done
Non-F
every other version of the
Okay.
mini bots, and every version has been very solid.
Are
These
these,
are very cool.
Battle
are these what I
Beasts.
think
Yeah.
these are? Battle Beasts?
There's some battle beasts.
yes.
Is it just Battle Beasts
Yeah.
or is it Diaclone type figures
No,
as well?
you got Battle Beast, you got Diaclone figures, you got
Dino, right?
Visionaries, wasn't there, or something?
Rise, you have
Dino Rise.
Visionaries.
Yeah.
There's about 4
Wow.
different versions of figures they had. These guys had.
I'm very excited for this, and it'd be interesting to see. I mean, there is actually sort of third-party Battle Beasts already out there. You have
Yeah.
got people sort of printing off their own figures now and stuff, which is quite good. But to have a sort of company which is easier to purchase from, I guess, in a bigger scale, that's quite excitable. And especially these figures, because some of them might even scale in size with your chug collectors or your third party.
Yeah.
Mm. And then you can also get this if you want to turn Sludge into
Shit.
is it Plesiosaur or
What
something
in
like
the
that.
world
It's
is
just,
that? Yeah. No,
there's a reason. I know there's a reason. I've seen it somewhere, but
just no.
no. Fans Hobby. They showed off their convention exclusive Marksman, but then that did become available on Fans Hobby's own site, I think it was, to order, and some people managed to get one. Hopefully, if Gavi B's in the chat, he managed to pick one up to go with the Huntsman. So yeah, we know it's the recolored and slightly retooled version of their Dreadwind. And then they're also releasing this, which is Double Evil, but it's they're going to release the toy color combination. So this is MB08A. So the colors are going to be slightly different, and it seems to come with a little bit more in terms of accessories down here. So you get the comparison. You can see the difference in coloration
And size.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perspective.
One is no, I'm joking. I think it is more maybe the stance that makes one slightly look bigger, or maybe he is. Who knows? Maybe they've increased his size.
5%.
Get the tape measure out, Pete. Get it out. There's the base mode. There's the evil trio with Buster and Hydra, and this is their Armada Prime, isn't it? Naval Commander.
Purple Naval Commander.
Purple.
Yeah, Gav. I knew it, Gav. You
Purple.
sexy man. Purple.
Purple.
I like to play my purple naval commander in the bath.
If your neighbour's purple,
I hope you haven't
call
smashed
a
its front windscreen.
call a doctor.
There you go. Yeah, purple and black. Ouch. But yeah, it looks good. I think Ian's
well used.
not about the Hasbro one, so I think he's got his eyes on picking this up as well. Transbots since 2008. Shattered Dante. Everybody's saying this is Hall of it. They've advertised it as a shattered glass version of
No, they've done Hauler. They've already done Hauler.
Grapple. Sorry, mine went blank for a second. So I don't know why people were saying that. But anyway, there you go. There he is. We've seen this mold before.
Really?
A good mold, or it looks a good mold. Yeah,
There were a lot of issues.
not
with
these
their,
colours, but we've seen this mold. It's the only thing they've changed is the colours.
You said there was issues there, Rohan.
Yeah, there were a lot of issues with their Artfire figure. I saw a lot of them getting blasted over the group, so I don't know if this one's going to have the same issues. I don't.
I mean, blasted like in a video, someone drawing them hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Stop watching those videos, mate.
Bond or whatever it's called, Bond James, the punch counter punch. They're recoloring multiple times. So we've got Panda Racer type Bond and James. If you like those colours,
Interesting.
I still remember that time you
That was
called the
pretty good.
Transformer Ass Blaster.
you remember that
That
time?
goes
Who
down in
called that
history.
Transformer ass blasted?
It was written on the internet.
you should be able to trust the internet. Anyway,
Not
there's
anymore.
Yellow Racer.
Okay.
And yeah, basically the same figure, but with a different deco. And again, we get another one because we get
Wow.
Pacer type, the official pace car.
Milk the mold.
Couldn't they
I was
have
gonna
done a
say,
mask one and done it?
That looks
you know,
GoBotish.
well, yeah, a little bit color scheme.
I just have this distinct memory of an anti-Hasbro member of our team once moaning in the chat and joking about and laughing about Hasbro's repaints. Yeah, because third party never do that, do they? Anyway, moving on. Oh, look, another one. Anyway, 26-hour racer type official pace card. In red.
No, Expanse always do this, right? And the problem,
Yeah,
the challenge
do,
is, right? The challenge is that this whole mold has been slated from left to right to up. This mold is one of the worst molds ever, and I'm very surprised that they released 25 million repaints of the shit molds. So it is very normally you release repaints of like a good mold, but they have not. I
could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet.
There was nothing.
That was actually quite.
That was a really good point, and I was looking for a video which was celebrated, like how something like
Constructicons. So there's
get your hooks into that.
Unsurprisingly, Extransbots Constructicons have not sold out anywhere. Yeah. So yes, you can do that and you can do that, but you can't fucking transform the fucker.
Might have something to do with the other ones that are coming out at the same time.
Ironically,
Digger.
What you can do is you can be brown, you can be blue, you can be violet sky, you can be purple, you can
have you had anything to drink today?
Yeah, Alexis.
No, not at all.
On your family trip, were you drinking at all? Yeah. There's Gravedigger.
Is he slurring every single one?
Sam took the kids to London. Alexis went on a bender.
Anyway, Gravedigger.
Compared
to Alexis, he's done some late night work drinking, and I think he's just picking himself up now.
Why did the tears burn?
Ain't nothing but a Gravedigger.
It's because it's not from your eyes. Right, there's Gravedigger, and here's Big Load. And who doesn't want a big load this evening?
Wow.
There he is. He's big, and he'll give you a load.
And he's got a load.
Oh, he has.
Again, they always do great photographs. They always do great photographs, but it'd just be a mess, right?
I think these look good. But I mean,
they always do.
It might be a nightmare.
It might be a nightmare. Is Alexis saying negative stuff about third party?
I'm so glad this is going online.
There's
a leg.
Okay, right.
Is this a teaser?
Right. So I have the Toy World. I have Toy World. I have Toy World Devastator. I pre-ordered the what's it called? The Fan Toys Devastator. I want to get Extransbots. I'm not sure. Obviously, MMC doing it as well. Peter, what are you doing, sir?
Fans Toys.
Only. Do you have Toy World?
No.
Would you buy Toy World?
No.
Are you trying to sell your Toy World?
Yes.
No.
Is your Toy World for sale, Alexis?
I'm not as stupid as I look.
No.
Anyway, there's some
one thing to say about that. That is a big load.
I'm sure there's a reason why they're there. We're not going to discuss that. Alexis is trying to sell something.
So okay. In Extransbots defense, what they're doing cleverly is they are releasing straight away their version of the Predator boss in Legends scale. So that was the first one we had before.
Alexis, what's this? Yeah. What's this? Why is there a shot of the back of Megatron? Is this a new Megatron? Is this one we haven't seen yet? Are they teasing it? It just seems a strange photo for them to show off just the back of the Megatron. So it must be new, right?
Mang motion?
No, that's New Age Megatron.
So it's just literally a photo of the back of an already existing toy that we've already seen. Brilliant. I'm so glad I took the time to download
photos.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's the Contractrons.
No, the one before that is the important photograph.
Streetwise.
The one before.
It sure is boring around here.
43 minutes in the news.
I know. Because you can't even blame Mainline this week, mate.
Because if you look to the right hand side, that's
ignore him. Move on.
That's new.
Move on.
Anyway, Contractrons.
We've got to work on Monday.
Legends scale. Streetwise with
Empires
Wheeljack and the other bits. Very nice.
It looks good.
Contractrons. There they all are. And there's more photos because that's desecrate. Oh, desecrate. What
Desecrator.
Desecrator. Bleh, I can read. Anyway, there you go. Desecrator combiner. It'll be about 522 millimeters tall. I'm just taking a guess. Shot in the dark.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Get the tape measure out. Sizable. Look at that.
Quite sizable.
It is. Look at those head sculpts.
Wow.
Pick your favourite, not the top.
Ooh. Well, which one are you?
You ever do that at night when you're in magic sessions? You go sizable.
Bottom right.
Are you
One
far
inch
right?
from the bottom right.
I'm bottom right, bottom right, bottom right.
It's
One
like
inch from the
night
bottom
tonight.
right.
That's most two-ish, isn't it?
Yeah.
One
One to-
right.
one to the
Those
left of
are
that.
much more stylized. That one.
To
That
the
one.
left,
Think that
to
one?
the left.
Yeah.
Hasn't skipped neck day.
Never trust a man whose neck is thicker than his head. Never. Anyway, moving on.
Wait a minute.
Fans toys. There's still more of this to come. Fans toys.
Yeah.
They've done tapes. There they are.
Tapes.
They come with stuff. There it is.
Is it a 4-pack or are they all separate?
That's an
Four
excellent
pack.
question.
It's
Four
quite
pack, 'cause
pricey
it
as
is.
well. It's
I
quite
assume they
four-pack.
came together, although
If
they
you
got
like
different
it, it's a
numbers.
picture of the box.
No, no,
If
same number, so
if
they come
you-
together.
If you order it, it's a 4-pack.
What
Nice.
the hell is that?
Auto Scout from which episode was it? Prime
Oh,
Problem.
no, it is. That's we need to make up something that the tape can turn into.
Auto
Fuck it.
Scout.
Put one bit up in the air, give a couple of wheels on it, boom, Auto
It was
Scout.
destroyed in anyway.
Good. It should have stayed that way. There's
Yeah.
a store. And then there's
There's the crystal he had.
It's like a Swiss Army
Anyway.
knife, isn't it?
and then Sound Blaster and tapes. There he is, looking good.
Sorry.
Are they doing two versions of this, or is it just you can change it up the look of it? Because there's a
No, you can
shot with
change.
two in
No,
comparison.
you can change it, Andy. So you got the choice
there
of
you
flip out like the shoulders and the legs and the knees and yeah.
Take
so
it.
the idea is you can have a
There-
toy
oh, you
or
stupid man.
you
There
can
you
you can have a toy or a toon
Toy.
look. A toy or a toon look. You can choose it.
Oh,
So
interesting. Yeah. I can't tell which one I prefer, actually.
eyes, heads,
Eyes on the right hand side.
eyes, head sculpts.
You prefer the yellow
shins.
eyes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting, because I see so many people moaning about it, not the figures often not having the red eyes. And yeah,
I
interesting.
like them. I
Right,
like the yellow
Kidney
one.
damage.
There we go. There he is with his minions again. And now Fans Toys Constructicons. There is Scrapper.
Sex in plastic.
He can point.
Bad boy.
Smash it.
I haven't been this excited to be a Scrapper since the RoboSen one that we're not supposed to talk about. There it is.
What's your name? Scrapper? Nah, Smasher, mate.
Are they two
Scrapper,
different
I don't even
versions?
know. Was that different? There must be.
Was it a comparison between? I don't know.
I don't know.
They're two different
Looks like the
toys,
same
I think.
bloody thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, there he is. There are some more comparison photos later on.
They were different, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Leg.
That's
there
the
he
mode
is.
I'm going to have it displayed.
So go
in.
back to the leg.
Everybody is.
Go back to the leg because
We'll see the leg again. Don't worry, you'll see the leg again. He is one leg.
Alexis
No,
likes a
but-
bit of leg.
Is it the same? No, but is it a parts form or is that the actual leg? Like
I don't know.
went,
Are you
I
a
don't
leg
play
or a
Fans
breast
Toys.
man?
he was quite. I'm a leg man. It's quite
Are you-
long, wasn't it?
I love the fact he actually stopped to answer that
Stopped
question straight away. Let me get this on
I'm a leg
record.
man. I'm a leg man. So
I'm
okay,
sorry.
sorry. I'm 4 years old. I'm in Sainsbury's or Tesco's with my dad.
Oh my
I'm
god,
in
this
the
isn't
trolley.
why you're a leg man, is it?
Yes, this is.
Oh,
My
no,
little
we
brother's
don't
in
need
it.
this story now. No,
My
we don't
little-
need
my
this
little
story now.
brother's-
What is wrong with you?
My little brother's in the
It's not.
range, right? He's eating the biscuits, right?
Fucking
James,
My
let me
dad-
do this one.
I am.
I
Jamie,
retract
for the
the
love of
question.
God, mute him.
Wait,
I
Jamie's
retract
not-
the
He's not
question.
even watching.
My-
Jamie's watching the
my
Hasbro
dad-
Pulse live stream. He's not even paying
No,
attention.
my dad gets slapped
I'm
with the
joking.
face.
Mastermind
Unless you are.
creation.
Master
My
My
dad gets slapped
Creations,
with the-
MMC.
My dad gets slapped with the face with a woman,
Right.
right?
We've seen
Because-
this. So this is Vivace
Voltron.
or Vivace or Vivivas, whatever you want to call it. There it is. We've seen this already.
Yeah,
I'll
but there
tell
it
you
is
later.
again.
I'll tell you later.
It looks
I'll take
quality.
yeah,
Looks really
offline.
good.
Offline. That's the best time to tell us. Away from prying recording.
Why is there two?
studios.
Why is there two? Go back to that one. Why is there two? Doesn't make sense. Why is there two rat bats?
Wait a minute, he's getting a wee bit too drunk in
Oh, and that's the one where they painted it up.
Prototype.
Anyway,
Let's go.
unpainted test shots of obviously Hotspot, and we've talked about this before. He is a chunky boy,
He
very
is big boy.
G1-esque, but
Mm.
chunky, lots of
All
chunk.
about the delts. All about the delts hotspot.
You gym boys. All about the delts. Get my gains.
It's just what Hotspot's been doing.
This is my gains, son.
Hotspot's just done shoulders
Anyway.
for like 18 years. Nothing else.
Nothing but shoulders. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we've seen First Aid before, haven't we? I think we've seen Streetwise before as well. Is it just me? What's going on with the colours?
We have
silver door, like really off
whole
white.
door, yeah.
He bought a panel in from
I hope
eBay.
it doesn't come like that.
That's toy.
Yay!
That's toy.
NMC scrapper.
We have Streetwise.
Yes.
I have Streetwise down there. We have him already.
Delete
It's a
us.
re-release.
I like that. Delete us. Yeah.
Delete us.
There he is. Oh look, he's a leg. I never could have seen that coming. There he is, and again, it says all built in, so that's good news.
Looks very
and
stable.
there's a bit of comparison shot.
I still think it's very clever. It's very clever, they've done it. It's very clever.
It is.
I love the MMC stuff.
Finn, and that was the end of it. But not the end of our third-party news. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! So anyway, there's that comparison shot with Fans Toys, X-Transbots, and then the actual Sunbow cartoon model. Yeah, so you can make your judgments based on what you see there.
Needs to put
gotta be
MMC
Fans
in
Toys,
there
isn't it?
now.
It's got to be Fans Toys.
Yeah, but don't just judge it. It was in. I put this up
I
there.
don't
but
know.
just judge
I
it.
kind of prefer the X-Transbot look. A little bit thinner. He's looking like a chunky boy. He looks like he didn't miss
Wide
his
load.
donut day.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
fat phobic like you, Andy, so I
I know you're not, Jamie. I know you're not.
I feel seen.
Very much so.
This is what I was saying. Like, it looks like the Fans Toys that actually managed to work out a way of actually like combining the whole leg.
Fans
into
Toys
a
and
leg.
X-Transbot's legs look far better than the.
They've extended,
animation
haven't
of
they? They are
Excuse me,
good at
sorry,
legs, though.
joking.
Fans Toys are good at legs.
Oh no! Come on, look at the vehicle mode though. The
Yeah.
X-Transbot vehicle
Yeah.
mode looks. I mean, yeah. I don't want to be harsh, but that reminds me of what was the Cybertron landfill? What's
Yeah,
it called?
landmine.
The one they repainted into grindcore for the movie line in green. I've
Landmine.
got him up there. He
Okay,
has the
so
same type
51
of
minutes.
arms.
Start going
Yeah.
through the news a little bit faster.
Right, who's this?
Sweet.
Alexis, you shared this, didn't you?
Yeah, but you got anything about it, or
No, I didn't. You shared it, you numpty.
Oh,
Right,
fine.
move on.
If he doesn't know, move on. We
Yeah,
Kang
it's,
Toys,
Mini
Mini, Predaking.
It's
and
Hazu.
That looks good. That new Kang Toys thing sure looks interesting.
That's the mini
Let's talk
one.
about
There's
that.
the big one.
News.
And then there's Razor Claw. And
Yeah, the
there's
baby.
Razor Claw with his big cannons. And then there's Razor Claw stood next to his big brother.
I
And
do feel like
then
this is going to be TF to show the extended edition tonight.
there you go. And then that's a really
Well,
badly
Obby did
pixelated
what is it
photo because for
changed?
some reason it was tiny. And that,
Bloody.
yes, is all the third-party news.
Yes.
Jamie, get that branding on. Let's tell everybody who we are.
Wait, go back to where we were.
No, don't go back.
No, because I closed it down.
You know, thanks guys for staying with us through this torturous ordeal. I really do appreciate it.
It's all right. I come
Remember-
here every week, Jamie. Oh, you're talking to the audience.
Remember to click the like button. Ian,
There we go.
probably
Please
don't
tell them.
like this show.
We now return to the Transformers.
It's Havis Zul.
Oh,
Sideswipe.
pick up. It's now time for pickups. So to start us off, we're going to go to Rohan. Okay,
Whee.
Mr. Sultry, what have you picked up?
Jamie, can I say?
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Yes.
Let's get
Jamie,
it on.
sorry, Rohan. Jamie, can I just quickly say the Sideswipe
Sorry.
was Haziv Zul,
We
who's
heard
done
you
the
4
back-
times.
who's done the backpack for RC. So if you want to buy a third party 3D printed version of Sideswipe, that's the place to go. He's done a backpack for RC.
Awesome.
There is no Dana, only Zool. Right.
Okay, sure.
Hazard Zul. If you don't know who
Not
he is,
sponsored by.
ping me. I'll put you in.
Rohan, what was your pickup this week, buddy?
Right, short
go.
pickups from me because, to be honest with you, I've had a bit of a lean couple of weeks. I haven't picked up very much. I'm not going to show you. I
You're
picked
not
up...
looking lean to me.
Oh, thank
That's a bit fat phobic, that, Jamie.
Absolutely tonk.
Oh no!
Right back at you.
Let's just
Yeah.
You live by
You
the
want
sword, you
Celine
die by the
steak?
sword.
Give me a big juicy fat steak. That's what I say.
Jamie prefers a big load. Anyway, go on, Rohan. What have you got?
I definitely do.
Right, I'm not going to show you the boring part because I bought an insert for a box. That's really boring. Okay, I only got one bot this week, and that one bot is not even a Transformer. So you're all going to hate me. It is.
No, don't worry. You're fitting into the aesthetic every week now.
Does anybody
GoBot?
know? It's a GoBot. Thank you very much, Andy. It is
Mute him.
GoBot Loco, and you can.
Well, he had a good one.
That's a shame. We've lost Rohan there. No, put it back in. Put it back in.
It happens to the best of us. No. Right.
Yeah, GoBot Loco.
Sorry,
He's a train.
sorry.
He's cool.
I don't know why I'm saying sorry. but I
Loco
feel
was
like
just
I-
lazy, though, isn't it? They called the train Loco.
It is a bit lazy, just like the transformation. To be honest with you,
Going
mate.
loco, down at Polko. Anyway,
Literally 4 steps, and he transformed him. That is it for me. Thank you.
oh, very nice. Who's next?
Okay, so yes, who's next? You, Pete. what
I'll
did
go
you
next.
pick up this week. Okay,
Oh, no, Pete,
Andy
you go
wants
next.
to
No, you go next.
Age before beauty.
Brilliant.
Beauty before
I've got
age.
nothing. Pete, what have you got? See, it was
I
easy.
wasn't ready.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Tape measure
I've
out.
got nothing, but I have got something arriving I think, tomorrow, so I'll have something tomorrow. But that's too late. I thought it'd be here today. Fucking epic.
So, Transformers, the show live on the internet. I got Masters of the Universe figure, Clamp Champ.
Champion name.
Yeah. I mean, look, he is the heroic master of capture.
Exactly. That's what he
Women
is.
and kids of Eternia. And I also got 5 frames where I was able to finally give some display space to the art project that John Paul Beauvais finished for me, where I bought some Transformers poster art from Leicester Vintage Toy Store, and over the last year or so, JP has been colouring it in for me, and I finally was able to get it in some frames.
Oh, that was
So-
awesome. I
beautiful.
remember that post on Twitter.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah. So
Have
they've
you
been
got
in
the
a.
photos of them to hand, Pete, on your computer? 'Cause if you can share them, the photos, obviously looking from this distance doesn't do it justice. Just how
No.
incredible
I'll tell you
those
what.
things.
I
Go
mean,
to someone else.
The
and
link,
then,
the link for Pete's Twitter account is actually on the show. So if you look at more, you'll see all of the links for
There you go.
Rohan and Pete. And,
Yeah.
and
Go follow
and,
Pete
you
and
know,
have a look.
Transformers the
It
show.
was-
So follow Pete and you'll find the post. Maybe he might pin it. I don't know if it's been pinned or not.
it's pinned. No, it's
It's
pinned.
pinned. So it'll be the first thing you see. Awesome to look at. So I fully recommend that post.
Thank you.
Should we clarify
Brilliant.
that when we say follow Pete, we mean on Twitter? Just don't go around his house.
Yeah. I mean,
Weird.
it's quite exciting when you just
It would
follow
be
him.
very uneventful if you do follow me.
Get a good look at them from his house.
Brilliant. Jamie.
Well,
What did you-
this week, I've got this from Royal Mail.
Nice.
That was the sort of collector stamp stuff.
They are cool.
Yeah, so I noticed that came back into stock because it had sold out, so I just bought it. I wasn't entirely sure what it was again, but I know I put up a warning for some reason, so I thought I'll just quickly buy it, just in case. So I've got this. So once I figure out what exactly it is and how much I paid for and why, I'll be happy.
You can check out my
Rohan,
video
right
if you want. Yeah, you can check out my
There you
video.
go.
Also, because I'm obviously a Transformer fan, sticking with human Transformers, I've got Wolf Spider, Path Varma Wolf Spider. I can't actually remember this character from the comics or the cartoon, but he looks pretty awesome, so being addicted to buying G.I. Joe figures, I had to get him. And this big box here,
Wow.
of the G.I. Joe Viper, Tele-Viper Cobra Flight Pod. So I've been starting to build up in the vehicles of G.I. Joe.
Cool.
We have a question in the group.
Yeah.
I was waiting until you finished. But how big are the GI Joes?
Vehicles.
They're 6 inches, 6-inch figures. So scale 112, isn't it? So
Sorry, are you asking? I can't remember.
So it's basically like Star Wars Black Series, and it's also like Marvel Legends series, isn't it?
Mm.
Not to confuse with Transformer Legends, which is actually small. Marvel Legends is bigger. So it's about 6
Where the
inches.
Transformers Legends.
So,
Yeah.
so when are you going to share some pictures of your G.I. Joe?
Oh, I do pictures. I just don't share them because I like to take pictures, and it's just for my own fun and stuff. And plus, I do so much Transformers stuff. I don't think people would like G.I. Joe stuff. So
there's a whole new
that wasn't my
universe
question.
to tap
Yeah,
into.
that wasn't my question. My question was, when are you going to share them?
I'm not, because I just
For
I
him.
like I like doing it. I mean, when I
A
get
special
better,
collection.
Pete,
Well,
you got to get
yeah.
yourself an invite to his house, mate.
Pete, it's like
Yeah.
Pete, it's like your stuff that you keep behind the paywall on OnlyFans. It's just
You know what I'm
it's not for
actually
everyone.
waiting for?
Not for everyone, mate.
I'm waiting for the
Baby's got to wait.
Hasbro Pulse stuff to arrive when I've got some bigger vehicles, because I had bought this sort of some of the vintage vehicles, and to see a sort of junk box perspective. What's it? Junk? I can't remember the damn name of the terminology, but use different perspectives to make something look the same size or the equivalent. But it just hasn't been working and stuff. But I've been sort of out there practicing and stuff. I've done a Snake Eyes picture with the wolf, so I put that out ages back, and I was quite pleased with that. But some of the stuff you've got to work with G.I. Joe is it's kind of bloody annoying, and the dimensions and stuff like, for example, I want to get better at building some trees, because I built some of my roads for the pictures, but some of the other stuff like rocks I can almost do, and not too bad. I tend to use them well out of focus, and so people don't see how bad they are. But trees I'm pretty awful, but I'm going to get better. But there's other artists who do wonderful trees, but they're pretty expensive. So you're talking about 6 trees for like that scale, about maybe 120, and then if you talk about postage, you're talking about 200. But they're wonderfully done compared to my stuff that looks like a 5-year-old play scale equivalent, So, but yeah, so there's good stuff out there, and it's sort of building that up as well. But I'm hoping I'll be doing some better ones eventually. So I think that's all my pickups. Alexis, what pickups have you had this week?
They're in the box over there, and I'm like really tired. So can I do it next week?
Oh yes, you can definitely do them next week. Alexis, if you're really tired, you can go. We can always get I don't know, the Wonder Hair person with his OnlyFans account can come in, maybe, or if you're really tired, don't force yourself to be up, mate.
They are there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be taken seriously tonight, though. Am I going to be taking
pickups?
If I go get my pickups, am I going to be taken seriously tonight? I get kicked out.
Yes, you will be taken serious tonight.
Because Jamie, you are in charge, not Paul tonight. So Paul gives me a slap.
If you want to get your pickups in between drinking this glass of wine,
it's so hard.
We've just got to try and do it in less than an hour, mate. That's all.
So, if you want to go for it,
your fatigue in the wine might be having a little bit of an effect, Alexis. Just go get them and let's have a look at what they got. Well, they are. It is. We can see it and hear it.
It's having a nice effect.
Maybe to you, my friend.
Which way you look at it?
Oh god! Hang on, I got to pop some pills for this.
No, this could be good though, because he's been getting some good stuff recently. So let's see what's in the box.
Come on.
Excuse me.
Have you got to open the box?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's an unboxing. We've got an unboxing, live unboxing.
Except it's the box for the box, isn't it?
Box before the box.
Oh, we got pan toys.
I feel Mick is the kind of anarchist.
Why someone is a bit drunk using a sharp object, but let's go.
Hey,
cut away,
cut
away, not towards.
Live on Transformers the Show. How to stop a main artery from bleeding.
You can't.
Hello.
You died.
Do you find yourself cutting open your wrists as you're trying to open a box? Then we're here to help. Always
it was a bean.
Public service announcement.
I can imagine Paul having them.
Bisto. Oh, you might have won the internet with that one.
right,
Paul's-
so
Alexis.
we have.
Paul's having an aneurysm in Holland
It's
as we
it's
speak.
called,
I think.
it's called
he's
Fans Toys
watching.
Diverge, which is the
Oh
version
wow!
of Swerve.
Swerve.
Swerve. So we've got Swerve. We've also got Gears.
Noise.
So Fans
gang's
Toys
all here.
Gears. So Gears, which is
Awesome.
very exciting. So Gears is what I'm excited about. Swerve is like my second. I have Outback.
Have you already got that Swerve?
Yeah.
Oh no, Outback. Outback. You've got Outback, haven't you?
No,
Have you got Gears?
Outback.
Swerve?
I had a Outback. I saw that. I've got Gears, which is the Baku, which is very good, which is on eBay right now. So everyone's buy it. So, genuinely, there's nothing wrong with
Hill's corner.
Well, genuinely, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that they do things. Oh, and here we go. There's Bond and James.
BB Bond.
Oh, I'm looking forward to a video on that, Alexis.
Have a watch of perhaps Arrowfire's review and then see what you think.
Well,
I'll go into it completely.
No.
If you've watched some, you probably already know.
Ian will know I gave him about fucking 5 paragraphs of Oh, not that, by the way. I gave Ian. I gave Ian.
Just scratching the surface.
I gave Ian 5 paragraphs about like
You got any more boxes to show?
15 minutes later.
His view on this. So Ian,
yeah.
No, genuinely, go watch Arafai. Ian's view on Bond James. He's the first person, not to say it off. He watched team reviews for Transformation.
Have you got any more?
That's what.
Just so you know, this is Arafai after his prison.
After prison. Changes a man.
Freya.
I've got New Age Freya.
Yeah.
Which I said about the.
So we didn't need to show it in the news. You could.
Well, this is the Toon version. That was the.
Is it a different version? Sorry, I do apologize.
Yeah, that was
New Age.
Shatters
Glass. Way.
Bands nons having a strong call of Bonjils. Guzzy.
So So what are we doing now is, I guess, if anyone wants me to do a particular review, let me know, and I'll be doing those because I'm now part of Show Z. I now have TF Show as a code. When I get Show Z stuff, this isn't Show Z by this is still a mega lock, but when I get Show Z stuff through, if you want me to review it, I will review it. The whole point of the code is a reviewer code. So if you want me to review it, I will review the bots.
Did you have a reviewer code for Megalock by any chance?
No, I did ask them, and they said yes, and then it didn't come through, unfortunately. So there was miscommunication of what happened, but no, didn't get one. So TF Show, and use that on Show Z, and then when the bots come through, which are part of that, I will review them and give my opinion. So if there are bots that you want reviewed genuinely and generally, then let me know. I will review them.
Alexis, why don't you put a poll on? If you can put a poll on the channel, can't you? You can put a poll so you could, if you get multiple bots, you can ask the viewers which one would you like me to see me review first. So then you know which
comment section in YouTube, so people in YouTube can actually respond. But
Sorry,
anyway, TF Show. That's the code on Show Z code. Please support Alexis, who does a lot of good reviews for Transformers the show. So that would be awesome. But now we're going on to the wonderful, sexy.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is TFCon 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. They'll think you want to join in.
So now we're doing foreplay, and tonight's foreplay was what is the greatest heroic Autobots? What is your greatest, do you think, heroic Autobot out there? And I think to start us off, I think I'm going to do is go and pick Andy, because Andy was the one who posed this very question.
I did, although I didn't put the word heroic in, which I want to point out before I share my choice.
Well, you don't want to say cowardly dumb fucks Autobots.
It's not wheelie. I promise you, it's not wheelie.
Oh,
not this time. And it's not a GoBot, Rohan, so don't get excited. It's Sentinel Prime! Yay!
Well, hey.
Because I'm not a big Autobot fan, and I thought Sentinel Prime, in IDW at least, was particularly interesting. I enjoyed the character. And
Is he left or right? Sorry, left
he's
or
the
right?
one holding up Alpha Trion.
Right.
The cloak. He's the big orange guy. And he was the Prime before Optimus Prime. So he was the one who had the Matrix before Optimus Prime eventually claimed it. And he's had a bit of a, I suppose, a revival in the IDW comics. And or he did until they ended. And they turned him into quite a evil kind of dictator. He was an Autobot, and he supported the Autobot cause more than anyone, but in a militant and actually quite horrible way, which made him actually quite dangerous. He's also famous for being someone who was killed by Megatron when he went off to kick Megatron's ass, thinking it would be nice and simple. And in the original stories back in Megatron Origins, they made out that he had this like armor on and he was well hard and he was just going to go and kick Megatron's ass, and Megatron put him down so easily. But then, as I say, IDW brought him back and they had the twist on it because they tied it in with Titan's Return. And then he's just kind of stuck around since then. And he's just awesome. I love I don't know why, but there's something about the colors, just the look, the attitude of him. He's a dick and he doesn't care.
Andy, is that the one? Spoiler: is that one where Hound got shot first, and then Megatron made a pile of shit out of was it Sentinel Prime?
I can't remember if Hound got shot first because
it was in IDW. It was IDW.
Oh right, possibly. I haven't read it for a while, but could be. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Sentinel Prime. Now there are other versions of Sentinel Prime, so totally didn't steal this from Chris McFeely's The Basics. That's the one from the game, of course, that you might know if you played. Was it War for Cybertron rather than Fall of Cybertron, or was it Fall of Cybertron? I can't remember which one he was in. The movie one, which you don't talk about, although Leonard Nimoy was class, and the animated one, which is quite popular. And I did like the animated one, but he was supposed to be Rodimus Prime. As many of you animated fans will know, they actually wanted it to be Rodimus Prime, and Hasbro said no, he's our legacy character. You can't make him out to be a dick because in the cartoon he's a bit of a dick.
He is a dick.
So they changed it to Sentinel Prime, and that's how we got this guy. And he was really entertaining in the show.
He was.
Again, he exists, but Leonard Nimoy was the best thing about that character. But yeah, Sentinel Prime for me, just because I'm not a massive fan of the Autobots. I like the fact they took a character that was very briefly mentioned back in the early days of G1 and actually made him into something and somebody significant. And I like the design of the character. He's just cool. It's all subjective. It's all just my personal opinion. I love him, but I just thought it's better than just saying Optimus Prime because that just felt too fucking easy and boring. So yes, my choice would be the wonderful Sentinel Prime, and that's Alex Milne's original drawings for the character when he first decided to stick him into Megatron Origins. So shout out to Alex Milne, some lovely artwork. Sentinel Prime. I don't expect anyone to agree with me, just to be clear.
Nice choice.
No, I think that's been superb and very well thought out. And to be quite honest, Andy, I've got a funny feeling you're going to show up the rest of us, and that's just not on, to be honest.
We can cut him out.
Yeah.
I
was just going to pick up the figure and say it, but I thought that probably wouldn't have the same impact.
I feel sorry for the poor bastard that has to follow on. Pete, someone keep it.
Oh, mate, I should have done Grimlock just for a laugh.
Well, thankfully you fucking didn't. So, following on from when we were talking about Autobot leaders, it made sense for me that I chose Grimlock because I genuinely think he is my most favourite Autobot of all time. He's by far the strongest, the bravest, the most fearless, the smartest, the most logical, the fairest. He quite possibly he personifies everything you should stand for as an Autobot, and he's a dinosaur. So, you know, Andy, yes, it was well thought out, it was well structured, and it was a different take on Sentinel Prime, but Grimlock is the best Autobot, and that's why it's
got me there.
And he eats robot fish.
And he eats robot fish.
And he was kind of evil. Don't forget, he kind of had a bad side. Almost.
Yeah. But
For-
in
in the pits of
similar to
chaos.
Similar to Sentinel Prime, it's kind of almost used the Autobot cause to
Yeah, he pulled himself out.
plow a trough for their own gain, which was power. So
Very
that's me
cool.
done. Grimlock.
Good choice.
No, I'm just thinking when you said Grimlock's the most intelligent, I'm not sure I would ever agree with you there. I don't think he comes close, but that's to say it's quite hard.
It's not up for discussion.
God.
All right,
Here we go.
this is not a discussion topic. All right, this is all right. I'm not asking for your
Did you
feedback,
say most
Jamie.
logical?
All right,
Most
I
logical?
would
and
say
smartest and
there was an
smartest.
episode when he definitely was, when he gave that sort of
Grimlock's
boost,
new
that sort
brain.
of thing. Yeah, so they definitely was, and he gave that to the
Thanks,
Technobots,
Pisto.
you know. So in the cartoon, he's quite thick. In the comics, he was a mixture, wasn't he? He was actually quite intelligent, but he decided he was hiding his intelligence a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
The modern write-up of Grimlock makes it. He says he is intelligent, but he either talks that way deliberately because he wants to play down his intelligence and he wants to be more of a thug, or because of what Shockwave did to him, depending on which version of the whole retconned history of it you go with.
I mean, there was an element of, playfulness in me saying he was the most intelligent.
Rohan, what have you gone for?
Right, so I have chosen one of the oldest, most gruffest, toughest, rumbling, stumbling characters out in the Transformers world, and that is the one and only Ironhide. He's my favorite Generation 1 character from any of this series, and I think I'm not going to have as elegant things to say as Andy or Pete have said, but everybody knows Ironhide. We all know what a great character he was in the show, in the sense that he was always one of the first ones on the battlefield. He was always one of the toughest. He had his ability to retract his hand and put out glue lava type things, and at the same time, when he met his end in the movie, it was one of the most iconic things. I mean, for me, it was absolutely huge. And of course, he had the wonderful Texan voice done by the brilliant Peter Cullen, and yeah, it's just one of my favorite characters. I know he's not everybody's favorite character, Andy, but it's just a old timer who just gets stuff done, and that's for me one of the best things about G1 was G1 Ironhide. So and the other thing is we've had two fantastic toys, one from Hasbro themselves and one from Magic Square in recent times, to actually epitomize what the character's all about, because the original toys were absolute garbage, let's be honest. They're great alt modes, but the robot modes were rubbish, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. Thank you.
Oh, well, that was short and sweet. Rohan, I guess, kind of
It's
like
not Rohan.
dead. But yeah,
but Ironhide does personify what an Autobot is, right?
Yeah.
He's good to the core. He gets stuck in. He's just an all-round good bot.
Helps the humans. Yep.
Great choice, mate.
Can't
Great
fix
choice.
super shit, gets killed. Exactly like the Autobots.
My choice is just like it's my favorite Autobot, and it's the one I always go to, and it's always hard because obviously he's a hybrid type of character, and it's basically Hot Rod, and it's just I love the toy they brought out. I think the toy to me is like, we use that word mini masterpiece. It's here to stay because this is what this figure is to me. Much better articulation than I had seen before, and it just epitomizes the character. Young, mobile, agile, full of energy. Basically, he's the Luke Skywalker of the Transformers franchise. The young Luke Skywalker, not the later Luke Skywalker, which he fucking destroyed, and made an abysmal character in the latest films. But the young Luke Skywalker, who was full of hope and energy, and didn't actually cakewalk anything, because he didn't even beat his dad, and his dad was half dead. His dad saved him. In every encounter, Luke Skywalker never really beat anyone, but it was through the power of hope and love he managed to turn his dad, and that was the type of young, full of energy characters that we like. And I think modern cinema doesn't have that, and I don't know why this now. And I think it's because maybe the idiots who are writing this stuff don't understand the films they watched before. They were too busy to make quick judgments rather than try to see it from different angles and perspectives. And yes, young Hot Rod in the cartoon is introduced through a cliche where the young person gets his older mentor killed through his actions, accidental, not deliberate, but definitely through his actions. And it's a touch and go, did he or did he not, and it's that type of ambiguous cliche which is often used in type of literature to the young new person to rise and replace the older character which is on his way out. And I always like the fact that the older characters never blame the younger idiot, because they understand what the situation was. They understand it's not done out of malice or even really stupidity. It's done out of love and trying to do the right thing. It's just that they haven't got that experience yet. Although he's meant to be about 4 million years old, they don't always say what age Hot Rod is. But but that could be a drop in the ocean. But yes, I like Hot Rod, and then he goes on to be Rodimus Prime, and that's the one thing I didn't see in the comics. I kind of like the fact in comics that Hot Rod wasn't involved in Optimus Prime's death, because I think in the comics it almost gives. It's in. I've got the comic. It's signed. You can go and freaking read it. But let's not go into a discussion. Just let me finish. It's not involved. It's not that cliche of being involved in Optimus Prime's death, meaning the character's got less of a burden on him, I feel, when he goes on to be Rodimus Prime. Where I think in the cartoon, you could almost imagine he's got that type of burden on you. And of being involved and, feeling that you let down Prime and putting on his already very heavy shoulders. So I think sometimes, I think it would have been nice if season 3 had kind of, I don't know, got away that sort of heavy weight he had on, especially when he passed it on in the Return of Optimus Prime. But I do love the character. Brilliant. I love both modes. I like Hot Rod, Rodimus Prime. I love how the character's there. Sometimes when you're reading the comics, I think the artists get a bit confused if it's Hot Rod or Rodimus Prime. They're not sure what they're drawing or what they're calling in. The perspectives change. You're not really sure really what his size was in comparison to the other bots. He definitely was bigger than RC Spring and that, but smaller than Ultra Magnus. Yeah, but as I said, one of my favourite characters, and I absolutely love it. And I love all the choices that people have picked tonight. So yes, excellent. Alexis, what's your greatest Autobot that you've picked?
Oh shit, I have one. It's gone now. Sorry, I went out to deal with a child situation because they're out there. So
what about Victory Saber? You've got Victory Saber nearby, haven't you? I mean, he's going to be up there somewhere, isn't he?
I had one which was
Bumblebee.
Alexis, I've made a comment in private chat. If you want to just look at that a second.
Oh, okay. I'll look at that.
Bumblebee would. You see, I thought about this is terrible. I thought about Bumblebee, and I can't stand the little yellow kid.
Yeah,
but
no,
he's always there, and
do you know what?
can't
I think
argue with his popularity.
Out of all the Bumblebees, the Netflix one for me is the best one, and that was like only last couple of years, really. Before that,
the Prime Wars,
the one in the Netflix, in the.
Sorry,
Cybertron.
That's the Prime
that character for me was better. He started off like as a scavenger, and then he didn't really want to join the cause, and then got looped in, and then by the end of it, he's like Prime's second-hand man, isn't he? And
different take.
Yeah, absolutely.
What, Bumblebee?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Have you not watched it?
Okay.
So
don't get distracted. Don't get distracted.
What's one of your favourite Autobots, Alexis? If you had to go there and then, what was one of your favourite Autobots?
Well, traditionally it would be Grimlock, but I would say if I was going to be torn about, no,
Grimlock.
Grimlock normally Grimlock.
Do you know what? That's a good honest answer, and that's brilliant. And yes, I think Grimlock would definitely be one of the sort of characters. I think he's going to be a favourite, and a lot of people think he was, he was in the comic. Yeah, was it Grime Times or was it or was it Grimlock?
Grim Times.
Grimgrams.
Grimgrams. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know what you were talking about then, and then it twigged to what you were trying to get at. Grimgrams, yeah. I love Grimgrams.
Sorry, Jamie, your post put me off. Sorry. Sorry. It's all right. I'll come back. I will come back with an answer. No, I have an answer.
No, you've picked Grimlock. That's okay.
I will You do that. I will come back. I will come back.
So basically, you know, Alexis is gone just now. and you know, Alfire, taking
I'll be back.
you
Don't
think
worry,
you've done
I'll be back.
amazing
I'll be back.
stuff. You know, you've done really well.
You sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
In Terminator.
I can hear him.
Now,
I can't see him.
Now it is time for.
We now return to the Transformers.
We're going to piss 2 hours.
It's not even a challenge anymore.
So the first question for tonight, and it's I'm hoping guys that you'll sort of partake in this, and I will try to select some of your comments and stuff. But my first question tonight is, which figure do you think is close to perfect, and why? Now, this question came from my esteemed colleague, not steamed. Esteemed.
That's the one who's just not.
You know, Andy. So
should we go a bit slower to give it? Should we go a bit slower to let the chat?
Yeah, we don't need to go slower. They'll catch up.
We'll giving an answer,
of us. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
Andy, could you ask which figure you think is close to perfect and answer why?
Probably Arrowfire. Oh wait, sorry, you meant Transformers. Right. Right. I'm gonna do this real quick. There's loads, because there's loads that I love, and I think this question is extremely subjective. So again, we'll have some answers that might make people go, "What the hell are you talking about?" But I love Legacy Tarn. I freaking love it, and it was only because I got bludgeoned that I then went back and started messing around with Tarn, and I just frigging love this figure. I love the weight of it. I love the posability of it. I love just everything you can do with the figure. And yeah, the tank mode's not brilliant, but then he ain't going to be posed in tank mode for me. So I friggin' love this figure. It's close to perfect, but it's not quite perfect. I'm also going to throw in a G1 figure. I'm going to throw in Snaptrap. I just mess around. I've got about 4 of these. I'm just mess around with them all the time. I have the different modes. I have the different. You can't see it. They're there behind me, and this is one of those toys that I can always just pick up and mess around with, and it always just. I just enjoy playing with the figure, and I've sat on the fence about this in the past. I think my favorite combiner team would be the Seacons, but the one I'm going to go for the actual perfect figure that I just don't think we'll get a better one, which means we'll probably get one next week, is Siege Shockwave.
Wow!
I just every time I pick this figure up, I just can't believe how good it looks and how well it's built. Mine has absolutely no QC issues, and I don't remember too many people saying theirs had any QC issues. It looks fantastic. The light piping when the light hits the eye, it's just, and I'm not even that big a Shockwave fan. You'd have thought I'd said Double Dealer or something, but no. For those people who missed out on this, who've ordered that 3-pack, you are getting a frigging treat of a figure. The best one in that pack, in my opinion, but maybe challenged by the Soundwave. But even the Megatrons are fucking good in that pack. They're just great bots. We've been spoiled with the figures we've had recently. Perfect bot. This is the perfect Shockwave. The robot mode, the pack on the back, the pipe to the gun arm, just everything. And I don't even mind the little extra bits. I never use them in robot mode, but they do actually make him look like a half-decent space cruiser or whatever the hell they call it. Yeah, I just love this version of Shockwave. I think, honestly, it is as close to perfect as we've ever had for any Shockwave figure. And I'll include third party in that. This just takes the biscuit. And again, it's all subjective. So, if you like a different one, that's fine. But
it's okay to be wrong.
Great choice.
Exactly.
What do you pick?
I really struggled. It came down to 2. The Takara Legends Slug Slinger.
Nice.
From Titan's Return. I just sometimes just mess with him when I'm on calls at work. I just think he's beautiful. I think he's the transformation is easy. The lightness is uncanny. He's gorgeous. But for me, and Ed already called it Kingdom Cyclonus. The transformation, the lightness to the character, everything about it. I think he started the mini masterpiece. I think Revolution, because I think he's sublime. So for me, it would be Kingdom Cyclonus.
Great shout.
Well, Rohan, and a great choice there, Pete.
Top
Rohan,
that.
what did you pick?
Oh, this is hard. For me, I've got two again.
And your choice.
And your choice.
My choice. I've already shown him, but I'm going to shout out again for Magic Square's Ironhide. This was the first time anyone had done like a proper good Ironhide toy. It is absolutely perfect in terms of robot mode, accessories. The transformation is spot on. It goes into the van mode properly, and it just looks like the character all round from the cartoon for me. Absolutely nails it, and there's not very much gappage and all that kind of nonsense as well. So really, really good figure. But I think if I had to pick one, then it would probably be also again from Magic Square, their Optimus Prime 2.0, which is an absolutely fabulous Prime. And there have been millions of Optimus Primes, right? So many of them. But that Prime has just been executed so well and so distinctly in terms of the fact that literally every panel is totally dead straight. There's nothing on him. You can't see anything on it. It transforms perfectly. It looks brilliant in both modes. And yeah, that would be my choice.
Great
Do you know,
choice.
it's I've been taking a lot of pictures of Ultra Magnus recently, so I think Ultra Magnus is definitely going to be my Transformer of the year. You know, and so it's a new toy, and I'm really enjoying it. And he's almost like, to me, because I don't have a Masterpiece figure, so to me it's like that hybrid's got even closer. You know, if you look at my photos, I try to show all the size to Ultra Magnus, the scale, the size, you know, that wonderful backpack, and I try to do it in nice photos, and I do love it. But for that complete figure, and I think it was my hero Autobot choice, is definitely going to be Hot Rod, because when I got Hot Rod, and
all right, Rohan.
well, I was just like, oh fuck, no, not Hot Rod again,
not again, Rod.
You know, I think the biggest criticism Hot Rod got was he came with guns, you know, and I always remember that, you know, people complaining about that he didn't have guns in the cartoon. Why have they given them guns and stuff like that? And yeah, well, he got guns, and he looks good with them. And I just like it. I like all the gimmicks. I like the way the fact that the little visor comes down over the head, it flips over. All these little things that the hand can flip in, and then you could put the buzzsaw from the cartoon in there. It was like kind of all these accessory little gimmicks I've just not really experienced with Titan's Return and stuff like that. You know, then he kind of messed it up with Evil Fusion, which was really pants. You know, it's like here. But yes, it's just such a wonderful, good figure who looked like Hot Rod, in both modes, was fun, had a ticklish, his hands could open and close, which to me is still a marvel of toy engineering coming from a chunk collector. And you had you could hold the Matrix, and you could do that scene from the posters in the cartoon when he, you know, when he transforms into Optimus Prime. So yes, that was my character, and a very good question there, Andy.
I think he would have been my third choice. He would have been my third choice.
I knew you were going to pick him, and it's a great choice.
Yeah, I do love that sort of figure. So the next question is this: where do you see the value in your collection, and why? Yeah, that's actually quite a hard question. That's
who posed this question?
Oh, old man Pete. The muscles.
Pete, do you want to explain the question?
Do you want? Yeah,
the muscles from Bracken.
Okay.
Because I can interpret this in a few different ways.
Yeah. And I think what I meant by it was we all have a collection, and you know, some people might value it, you know, in a monetary way, in a you know, a sentimental way, a grail kind of way, you know, in terms of, you know, rare finds and stuff. And I think the value is interpretative, you know, in terms of, you know, how you value your collection. But I think for me, it's such a mixture, right? So I've got some original G1s that I had when I was young, and I have a, you know, an emotional affinity to them because, you know, you played with them as you were a kid and stuff like that. But I've also got stuff like, you know, Optimus Prime that, you know, is a kind of a real distinctive, you know, piece. I've never seen anything else like it since I got it, and I've got HasLab Unicron, and it's not so much that I think they're potentially worth, you know, you know, vast sums of money, though, you know, perhaps they are, but it's, you'll probably never see anything like HasLab Unicron again. You know, that you know, the engineering and that, you know, mass scale release and stuff, you know, Hasbro won't do anything like that again. So I guess my question was kind of, we've all got collections. How do we value it when we look at it?
Well, there's
You know,
been
is
some
it
wonderful
sentimental?
answers in chat there, so I think they really caught on to what you were saying. So that's for sure. Andy, answering Pete's question.
I was just looking at the chat and some of the answers that were in there, and Mick had put about nostalgia, and that's definitely part of what kind of the way I value my collection. I don't think of it as monetary value. Claire asked me once how much I thought it was all worth. I haven't got a clue. Not a clue. I'd have to sit and really try and work it out, and even then, it's worth, things are worth more to me than they are to other people. Like, I've got figures, like, you know, a beaten up G1 Snaptrap. Well, you'd probably buy it for 10, 20 quid off eBay or the groups or something. Certainly not a hell of a lot of money. But to me, it's worth miles more than that. So it is. I've always had that thing when I've been collecting. I started off as a collector who bought everything because I just felt like I wanted everything. And then I became a collector who decided to buy the things I actually wanted instead of just feeling like I've got to buy everything. And I've been a lot happy with that because there's loads of figures that I don't feel I've missed out on, really. Especially when I've seen friends then get them and then moan about them and thought, right, well, that was definitely worth saving the money. So it's got to be that nostalgia. It's that what's got the cool factor, what you really enjoy. And like, that's why my collection started off as all G1, expanded then into the generation stuff, sprinkling of just a little bit of third party every now and again. And also dipping into other elements of the Transformers toy line that just I really enjoy. And then other toys, you know, like Master of the Universe and stuff like that. I've even got a little Turtles figure. And it's the only one I've got. And it's a foot soldier because that was the first Turtles figure I ever got as a kid, was that foot soldier. Not that exact one, obviously, but, you know, that type of one. So for me, it's got to have that connection, that nostalgia, a little bit of heart to it rather than just, it's a cool figure, I'll buy it.
And Rohan, wonderful answer there.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to echo and reiterate something that Pete said and that Andy said, which is that I feel like there are different parts of my collection that have different values incorporated within them. So if we look at the Generation 1 part of my collection, that is my childhood, it's growing up, is where I bought a lot of the figures. There's a lot of sentimentality in there. There's a lot of association with getting figures for your birthday or for Christmas or those sorts of things. And that is in itself, you know, something that you can't put value on, as you guys have all said. And then I look at my my Legends collection and I see the toon aesthetic, the characters that I saw on the big screen that have really come to life, and, you know, the ability to play with them in that fashion, and that speaks to me in a different value sense. And then the updated Generations characters, which are the updated versions of my G1 characters, like the Ironhide and the Skylinks that I showed earlier. They are just the playability that we were missing from the Generation 1 characters, or the, you know, robot modes that were missing from the Generation 1 characters, taken to that next level. And they give me a different sense of joy, in the sense that for a reasonable price, Rohan's reasonable price, you get the play value, you get the aesthetic value that you didn't get from the G1s, because they were only really good in one mode, shall we be honest, and say usually the alt mode was better. But on those, they now do both, as you articulated so well there, Jamie, with the Studio Series Hot Rod, just knocks it out of the park in both modes. And then to Andy's point, you know, the larger scale of the overall collection, now being able to bring in things like, you know, GoBots and Mask, and to a lesser extent my Battletech figures, which I do have splattered around here, and the other bits that are coming in now, the non-transformable figurines that I did my video on a couple of weeks ago, the diorama bits, which just, you know, again, non-monetary value wise, not even Transformers. I wouldn't really call them Transformers because they don't transform, right? But play wise and, you know, imagination wise, if I'd had these when I was younger, maybe I would have had more creative thinking. I don't know, but they just all add so much from a different value perspective to me. And just to close out, I do have a spreadsheet. I have not calculated the value, the monetary value of all of my collections.
Why are you lying?
You know it's true, Pete. I do have a monetary value on the stuff that I sell, and I can tell you, like Andy said, when you actually sit down and think about it, the value is absolutely astronomical, literally out of this world. So, God forbid anybody has anything happens to any of their collections, because in my opinion, they are all irreplaceable.
I think a poignant point is the wonderful comments that people are making in live chat, and I wish I could share them all and coherently as well. I like Primetime Moth's comment, which I think touches maybe quite a lot of people in this Transformers fandom. Is for me, my collection are more. So my collection room is my fortress of solitude. Having suffered multiple mental breakdowns and real struggles, it's where I feel at peace. And to me, that's invaluable. It's a place you can go and think to yourself, and I think I get that kind of jest. And I think, for people who maybe not have suffered that, they could understand and empathize, because maybe they're close to it. Because I think you're always at a time in your life when you're even close to that point, and you might not even realize it. It's like a tipping experience, isn't it? But so I think that's good. And I think for me, it's I kind of agree with a lot of people saying. I think I couldn't really find it in my heart to disagree. Even though I'm Scottish and contentious by nature, but my collection's definitely changed for me. When I first got it, it was about getting the figures. I must have the figures. I must have my characters represented. Then I was thinking about, I'm going to try customs. Realised I didn't have a skill for painting very quickly and modding stuff, and it's my testament about trying to put a third-party kit in RC and 4-hour endeavour and bleeding and stuff like that. And I found out the hard way. I've definitely taken off in photography, so much so. But I think with my collection, I would rather have it stored away and catalogued so I could get the figures I need for my photography quick and easier without having to clean and dust them all the time for photos, and maybe just have a few choice ones for display, and keep them protected from my cat, who's got a habit of coming in here with a tail and just maiming and massacring half my collection, and she just doesn't know.
She doesn't give a shit.
Totally oblivious.
Right, let's be honest. Cats are the devil.
Oh, but little Gemma, she never touched anything. She would come in and look, but she was so careful and gentle, even when she went.
You look with your eyes, not with your paws.
But this one is like a behemoth tank. You just Pippa, she just destroys things. Like, she knocked over my Tarn, crashing down. He bounced onto my PC power switch, switched off my PC, wrecking all my work.
Oh, dear.
But she didn't give a shit, did she? She just strolled out.
She is the Galvatron of her kind.
Strolled out without a care in the world.
But I think my value is definitely in the fence I've made for collecting this, and it's good people. And I think you can tell a lot about a fandom and a collection, with the people involved in collecting, because you're all wonderful, great, intelligent people. And I think that's something rare, and I think that's something to be proud of in this fandom, especially for Transformers UK, which Gav and Luke helped to run and made a success. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been in a fandom. The caring, wonderful people I've met in Twitter, because Andy knows I went into Twitter like a naive idiot and made lots of mistakes, which would get most people crucified. But, good people, they understand you're human, and they sort of protect you and give you support and help and advice. And I think that's an amazing thing. It's the greater fandom, and it's the inner fandom. It's the fandom of all the different circles. I could only think of the circles of hell, but it's not. It's like the circles of heaven, and I started at the bottom, and I met really nice people. And each time I'm just going along in this journey, it just gets better and better. And that's just something which is an amazing thing, and I hope everyone here experiences that, and I hope everyone here realizes, they can they can shout out and talk to people, and when they see us at events and stuff, as long as you buy me a pint, you can talk to me.
Just what?
I'm not going to
Or
lie.
sell
I
me a
didn't
Transformer
realise.
for a reasonable
I didn't
price, whatever
realise the
it is.
question was going to get as deep as this. I'm not going to lie.
I know some of the comments had
gonna
me.
cry.
Mine was just
I'm gonna cry.
the collection.
I thought they were so genuine and honest. Some of the comments, I was starting to well up a bit, and I was like, "Fuck."
I do think you're right to highlight those comments though, because for a lot of us, these collections are a bit of an emotional blanket for us, and I often will be sat downstairs if I'm doing some work on the laptop or whatever, and I'll have a bot near me. No reason. I'm not messing with it at the time, but for some reason, I just like having whatever Transformer it is near me. It drives Claire mad because now the collection is creeping in everywhere.
You know, I saw. Yes, it's a brilliant thing. But going on with some more of our questions.
Next
sort of
question.
Looking into there. Do we have any grails? And is the term grails overused? And this was my question, basically. You know, which, to be honest, is probably quite connected to actually Pete's question. Because when I think, do I have any grails? And I would definitely say yes. I had grails in the Michael Masters, and I had grails and the Target Pretenders. So I had Michael Masters and Pretenders, and thanks to this fandom, I managed to get my grails. Most recently, obviously, Starscream, and then Jazz, you know, which is thanks to Stephen Kelly and his friend Stefan. And obviously the wonderful people, Toyfu as well, who I think have helped many people complete grails. Do I think the term grail is overused? I definitely do think, and I think, and I'm being honest here, I think it's something which we all tend to do. We hype up stuff and say, oh, really, what now? It's a grail, you know, to emphasize how much you want it, rather than, is it really a grail? Is the word being so overused? Is it starting to lose its meaning? Because when I look at my collection now, I find it hard to think about what's a grail for me anymore, because I don't have grails. There's figures I want, there's figures I like, there's new ones I see, but a grail, no, I'm really, really happy with my collection now, and I'm really content, and it brings me joy, because I think the thing with a grail to me is something which you wanted for nostalgia reasons. It was really important. It doesn't mean it was really hard to get, but it might have been hard to get at certain times because of financial reasons, or the time just wasn't right. You know, so you've had to let it sit, you know, pass you by. But I think I've definitely been very lucky and fortunate in the sense I've got all my grails. And I do think it maybe sometimes I'm a bit suspicious, which maybe is a negative part in my personality when I feel other people shout grails, only because they seem to use the grail to describe everything they want, you know, rather than this is something I really like. So, yeah.
I think you've summed that up very well, Jamie. To be honest, that's exactly what I would say. And like yourself, I don't feel. I was literally sitting here thinking, right, have I got any grails? I don't think I have anymore. I've experienced most of the figures I used to think of as grails. You know, I've had a Fortress Maximus, and I've had a Bludgeon, and I've had this and the other, and a Thunderwing, and all the ones that I thought of as grails. I've had them and experienced them, and then it's kind of like, well, there's just figures I like now, and I want, and I might pick up. It's not the same as a grail. I do think sometimes grail is overused a little bit just because we want so many figures. Yeah. But, you know, everybody's experience is different. That's not to have a go at anyone who's sitting there going, I have my grails. That's fine. You have. But, yeah, I honestly, sitting here right now, if you said to me, what's a grail you want? I couldn't tell you. Yeah. I literally couldn't tell you. Yeah, there's just lots of figures I might like.
Yeah.
Yep. I was just going to say, I feel like the term grail has evolved over time. So like when we were back, you know, in the 80s, 90s collecting Generation 1, like you've pointed out there, it was harder to come by. It was more expensive. It was difficult to find. I didn't have Fortress Maximus until they did the Takara reissue. I didn't have a G1 Triptychon until I was in my, you know, late teens, early 20s, because I had to ship it in from the USA. You know, those sorts of things. At the time, they were grails because you couldn't get them either for money or for timing or for location or whatever was the case. But as you both said, now, if I try and think what's a grail for me, it's usually something that's really obscure. So something that people don't tend to see every day of the week. Something like I showed it on Transformers the show a few years ago. I picked up Transformers, sorry, not Transformers. It's a third-party company made RZB-01, an Optimus Prime figure, which is like a Voyager class Optimus Prime, and like nobody's got it. I think there's like 2 video reviews of it on YouTube, and it's really hard to come by. It's not a great figure. It's not an expensive figure, but it's just really, really like random. It's like nobody has it. So for me, that's a grail in the sense that it's just really rare and hard to come by, and not loved by everybody. So that makes it more.
But loved by you.
But loved by me, exactly.
Yeah.
And that makes it all the more unique and for that. But I totally agree with both of you. There aren't any grails anymore for me. For me, it's a case of, okay, the Legends class stuff is now so toon accurate. I absolutely love and adore it, but they're not grails. They are just the next releases of that line that have become almost standard to an extent, and you kind of expect it. And now that we can all afford it, it's a case of you're just going to get it when you can get it, sort of thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just laughing because I've just seen Pete Scorponok sat on.
Yeah.
He just sat there like
a Mega Supreme's doing the same as well.
Oh, is he? I couldn't see him because he's.
Yeah.
However, Fort Max won't do it because he hasn't got the articulation. So he has, but he's got his arse sticks out past his hip bone.
You say he's got
you
big
can't
ass.
balance him. Yeah, you can't balance him.
So you've only got 2 kids then.
Too much junk in the trunk.
I think the chat has summed it up for me. I think quite a lot. The word grail is massively overused, and I think it's got several meanings. Whether it's to Rohan's point where there's stuff that isn't seen very often, or it's that rare that it's got this massive price tag. What's the difference between a grail and then going, I've got a couple of gaps in my collection and I just want to fill it, right? And it's easily accessible. I mean, I always felt like for me, a crisp G1 Ultra Magnus and a crisp G1 Galvatron were kind of my grails. And I've got Ultra Magnus. Maybe I'd love to get a G1 Galvatron only because I've never had it, right? A proper box fresh one. But I think it's down to interpretation, isn't it? And I think like you guys, I couldn't genuinely hand on heart say there is something top of my list for TFN next year. I'd have to really think. And I think if you have to really think about it, it's not a grail. It's just a gap in your collection, or it's just a toy that you want.
Yep.
I do think it is overused, and I think in a world where it's never been, I was going to say easier, but I don't think easy is the right word, but it has never been easier for you to, source those, perhaps those gaps in those collections, or there's older, there's older things, like Toy Fu, and there's other stalls at TFN, and Space Bridge and all those other guys. Okay. There is opportunities to get those, grails. So I don't know. I don't feel like it has the same meaning as it did 5-10 years ago.
Yep.
Again, I think chat's been fantastic, and I just hope, and I know live chat is it's harder to see. I think the comments now, isn't it? But yeah, I think
there's so many good.
I think the people tonight have been exceptional, and the comments I've made and stuff. So it's been wonderful. So thank you so much for that. And a great answer, Pete, as well. And I think it mirrors the sort of feeling that everyone else had. So sort of looking again at sort of like a sort of question. This is Rohan's question.
Oh no, this
and I think what?
No, this wasn't mine.
Oh no, this is Alfire's question.
Yep. I was going to say
this is the bodybuilder's question.
what we're going to do, actually, we're going to go straight to Rohan's question, then we could go back to that sexy bonus question. Do you
mind if I just put a little bit of context around this? Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, so my thought process was Transformers over the years has obviously grown, and there's multiple different sublines now, as we can see I've articulated there. But I feel like Transformers has become bigger than just a singular brand, almost like some of these sublines are getting so big, like Beast Wars in itself, the Unicron trilogies, the Transformers, the movie live action lines are so big in themselves that they could almost be franchises of their own. And my question is, are they now so big that they are capable of being franchises of their own? A little bit like the Marvel universe has branched out with all of its various different sublines and created new sort of almost franchises within each of those. Or Marvel's done it, Star Wars has done it. Why can't Transformers do it? So yeah, that's my question. Do you think it's getting so big that some of these could break out and become their own sort of franchises?
Who wants to go and answer that first?
I'll be quite quick. I think the short answer is yes. I think, as much as I don't have a great love for it, you look at Beast Wars. There is a reason why Hasbro is getting behind the characters and releasing so many, right? They wouldn't do if they didn't think it would sell. They wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I think as like Transformers, that kind of stuff will go in eras, so they'll then move on to Unicron, because I think it will be, they'll get a couple of years out of it and then they'll move on.
Yeah.
Because that is the timeline, of the franchise. So yes, mate, I think, you've got so many, we came in at G1. Yep. Someone else came in at Beast Wars. Someone else coming at Bayverse. Someone else coming at Unicorn Trilogy. Yeah, I think it is getting to a stage where it is now, isn't it? You look at this wave. You look at this wave of Legacy and stuff, and the previous wave, it's predominantly Beast Wars.
There's a lot, isn't there? And they're trying to sort of mesh it together almost, to bring it all together, to bring the various, like you said, various different people have all joined at different times.
Yeah.
I mean, because the one interesting thing I get from watching Prime versus Prime reviews, which I don't get from watching the older reviewers, is the older reviewers obviously been there from the start, so they know every epoch, which has been in the Transformers fandom. Where someone like Prime versus Prime and his fans and the people who comment, they'll come across a toy they've just never known the character before.
Yeah.
It's something like a new discovery for them. They don't know it. They don't know the ins and outs, and they get the toy, they love the toy, and then suddenly they want to look into that character, and I think that's wonderful, and I think that's brilliant, and I think with Transformers, I think it's already done it. That question you asked, has it got different universes? It could stand alone? I think it's there, because I think there's other people who are just not aware of other universes in Transformers.
Yeah.
And it would be shocked to find that. And I think there's a lot of people who obviously just think of Bay versus Transformers, so have their own theory of that Transformers are organic and stuff like that, and you just go, fuck off. But you got
you're wrong.
But Philistine, but that's what I mean. There's so much out there just now. I think the answer to your question is, I think they've done it, and I think Hasbro might not be aware of it. They've done it.
Yeah.
And I think for toy lines, I think they make it so confusing for parents, in that sense. But yeah, that's what I would say. I'm sorry, I might have answered before. Andy there.
No, it's fine. I'm going to go slightly different though, because the thing is, G1 at the time was so huge, and I don't think even as kids we realized how big it was. I mean, now we look back and we can go and find out online, and there's shows on Netflix that show this was arguably the biggest, certainly one of the biggest toys in the world at a time where you didn't have computer games and things to distract people from it. You played with toys. And the only thing I'd say is, I don't think Transformers, while it's still been popular, obviously, because it's always been there, has ever reached those heights. And that would be my only fear with this is, yes, there are fans of Beast Wars. Yes, there are fans of the Unicron trilogy. Every single line that we've had. Is there as many people as nostalgic about those lines as there was about G1? Because that's why I think Hasbro always go back to the well. Because at the moment, there's still enough of us old guys who still have that G1 love. And it'll be interesting to see moving forward in 20, 30 years' time, if I'm still alive, whether or not Bayverse has become that, because that's the biggest thing we've had in Transformers, I think, since G1. As good as Beast, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just saying I think it's the thing that's had the biggest cultural influence, because people who never or would have been interested in Transformers got into it through the Bayverse movies. So we can slag them off because we can look at it from our old man point of view from G1 and say the stories are crap, the writing's terrible, acting's not great, but there's Megan Fox. So, but we can look at that and we can kind of make that distinction. But if that was our G1, we'd fucking love it. Of course we would. We'd all, we'd adore it. It's just, I'd be really interested to see what it is that eventually becomes the next G1, if you see what I mean. Eventually, G1 is just going to be ancient history.
Well, the relaunch of the comics, maybe G1 will recycle it itself, because I think sometimes the thing with Transformers has always been evolving into, as I say, different epochs, like
it's had to.
different areas. And yet, when you look at comics in general, even in Korea, Japan, America, they tend to have like silver era, golden era, modern era, new modern era, and it's always the same characters just getting recycled again and again, with maybe sometimes a new interpretation or a new character to represent the world we sort of kind of live in, or the writer wants to inject himself into the universe, or the writer's just crap and doesn't have a clue and thinks the college dorm is what the world looks like. But there's always been good. There's always been a constant evaluation, and I think in some senses, when something's not broken, you don't need to fix it. I think the case with Superman, what a lot of people didn't like with Superman is when they tried to make Superman a bit dark or a bit moody, or he's only one day away from having a breakdown, where what's wrong with just having Superman is the sort of continuous Boy Scout, which a lot of people like. Superman's the ultimate fantasy of not someone having superpowers, but what would it be like if a good person had superpowers? A genuinely good person had those abilities. That's where the sort of fantasy is. And and I think with Transformers, it could start again, and I can see why, and they can just churn out the same stories and capture a new imagination. Because when something worked and something is really good, why reinvent the wheel for us old fogies who are going to be passing on maybe in 10 years, 2 years, 5 years? You don't know, but we're going to be moving on.
All right, you generation.
Get that new generation where you can. That's what I'd say.
And to be fair, I think that's what they've done, certainly with Earthspark, haven't they? They've taken it in a completely different
new direction. Yeah.
To apply to, a new base. And I think it would be really interesting to see, how those toy sales have maybe lined up against the legacy stuff, right?
Have we even seen Cybertron in the Earthspark cartoon at all?
I haven't kept up with it.
I've watched most of the episodes. I don't really remember. I haven't watched every one, I'll have to admit that. But I think they have kept it very Earth-based. And this story of kind of after the war, Megatron, not an Autobot, but helping the Autobots. But
I quite like that sort of Megatron. And I'm quite, sticker for old guard stuff.
But it's a different Megatron, isn't it? You can feel it's a
new
different
take.
Megatron. Like the character, it isn't just G1 Megatron who's just turned good. It feels different. You can accept it more than the idea of I've killed billions, but now
See, this is what I love about the current Transformer franchise. I think so many franchises out there, they all check different boxes, and I think checking boxes is sometimes a negative, and one franchise is forced to check them all. But when you're as big as Transformers, each franchise can check different boxes, and I think that's great. And I think Earthspark is definitely filling a void. And it's good, and it's good for youngsters and that. And I think with the new Transformers, the way it's launched, I don't think it should be under the pressure of it has to represent every or check or over-represent this group. But no, let it be itself, because we've got such a myriad of different franchises out there. And I think, it's Rohan's kind of question there, is that Transformers really benefits from that. And I think it's beautiful. And I think it's great, and I think it's a wonderful asset.
Can I just say one last thing? Only with the like the new waves and stuff that are coming out through Legacy and etc. Imagine if they're looking at people are seeing those characters come out, from Beast Wars and stuff, and they were like, oh, okay, let's take a step back and see what the original Beast Wars, figures were like. The more I think you then start looking and going, people are going to TFN more, because they're starting to delve back into the, the archives and stuff. And does it drive up the value, right? So you go in and you're seeing those older figures being sold on eBay. Does it revitalize that stuff? And I think the more it gets revitalized and talked about, and people are purchasing and stuff like that, it keeps it alive. And it gives the Hasbro the incentive to continue to push and continue and push. It doesn't die a death. It doesn't like peter out into nothing. So I think it's a massive thing.
Yep. I mean, that's one of the things I like. I think I've definitely softened, where before I felt the need to have to defend G1, and I like G1 Marvel Comics the best, but that's me. But I do appreciate other people's love for their franchise, and I think that's great.
I think that you said it really well, Jamie, where you said that we don't have to have one overarching Transformers franchise which incorporates everything and ticks all the boxes and makes everybody happy. We can now have little pockets where, like you said, they've got the new wave stuff for the newer children or younger people. We've got the G1 stuff is G1, and they can regurgitate that as many times as they want. They're not going to change it too much because it is a really good, to your point, Andy, I think G1 was the epitome of Transformers. You won't ever best it. Even now in today's day and age where we have Bayverse, and Bayverse is ridiculously popular, as Pete said, even if we did a comparison of G1 versus Bayverse in a statistical data analysis, G1 would still win because there are other mitigating factors, like you said earlier, video games and other things. Children of today are not quite the same as they were in the 80s. But in the context of like for like, taking all those into consideration, maybe Bayverse would be potentially as popular as G1 was. I don't know. It's really hard to tell, right? But for me, I think G1 will always be there, and it will always drive, as Jamie said, the next generation of Transformers to come forward.
And I think it's been awesome. And I'm sorry, guys, that I have not paid attention to chat. Some of the pre-orders have came up, so I had to make some pre-orders there. So hands up. I have been a bit unprofessional, but to be honest, I've been drawn in by the wonderful comments made by my colleagues as well, which has been brilliant because I've not thought of anything like. Normally, I put on stupid faces,
You're not usually the unprofessional one.
Is it fair to say that this has been one of the most engaging chat nights? Because
can I just point out that the chat, I often like to keep an eye on the chat numbers, a little bit statistical. The chat numbers have actually went up, on at least according to my phone that I have just checked, so I can check the numbers there. That actually went up, not down, during the discussion. That's not always the case, because let's be honest, people get fatigued, they have other things to do, they might go off and make a cup of tea or creosote offense, but no, they seem to go up. So it's interesting that this discussion seems to have really got people in the live chat interested and getting them a chance to input.
This is the last question for tonight, and I really wanted it. I wish Alfie was here to answer it, but the last question tonight, and I almost think we've kind of covered this in a way as well, but I think it'd be good to just be more specific in answering this. Why does Transformers seem so relevant in 2023 compared to other franchises that have fallen by the wayside?
Because Transformers is much better at being a chameleon and changing for the times than a lot of the ones that we had in the past.
Yeah.
He-Man became too kitsch and too niche, and people started to see it as silly. And the same with other toy lines. Turtles is one that's continued, but again, has learned to reinvent itself all the time. Transformers has been brilliant at reinventing itself. Once they learned how to do it, Beast Wars was a massive help in bringing it back when it looked like it was dying. And then, well, it was. I mean, I know, Pete, I think,
Yeah.
You know how I feel about it, Pete, but it is. I mean, it did. It for a whole generation. It kind of brought Transformers back into the psyche and into their mainstream. And then from that, obviously we go back to more stuff like G1 because why wouldn't you? But it's the fact that Transformers can just change itself so many ways, so often, and it will keep doing that because let's be honest. Robots that transform into things are cool, and they will always be cool until we have actual real-life ones, and then they'll become boring, and we won't be interested anymore.
Answer to your question, Andy, when yes, if you can share or show something.
Oh,
but we'll answer some of the questions.
Yeah, go on, then. You do that while I just sort that then.
Yeah, and to be honest, Andy again is kind of stolen the crown there because he's answered it really well.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's I think you're kind of right, because I think sometimes with the other franchises is they didn't get the grounding they needed in the first place. I think Transformers had amazing grounding because it was a good toy line, had a good comic and a good cartoon. It had 3 things for success there, which gave it a strong foundation across the fandom. And of course, Beast Wars came out later. You had the G2 as well, the art house period of Transformers. But it just like Andy said, it just stayed relevant. It kept reinventing itself rather than recycling the same story again and again with just different artists, with a slightly different take on things. And I think that's maybe why, because I think the trouble with the other toy lines is there was something always coming out, something new or a better idea or some idea they wanted to run in because they wanted it to be the next big thing. They were always chasing it, where Transformers was the big thing and it just kept rolling along, as other new toys were coming into an invention and trying to take it. Turtles became a big thing, Pokemon became a massive thing, and Power Rangers became a big thing, then Star Wars is like try to reinvent itself. Then Marvel Legends has come onto that. But Transformers is just like the old man river. It just keeps rolling along. And I think that's why it's kind of stayed relevant today. Pete?
I honestly, hand on heart, I haven't got anything to add, to what Andy said. I think Hasbro have known, Hasbro aren't daft. A bit like why is Barbie still relevant, right? So they redo it and they make it a little bit more modern because ultimately, it's a cash cow. Hasbro have been very good at tweaking Transformers as the eras have gone past. They've made it, I wouldn't say they've made it more relevant, but they haven't been afraid to, right, okay, that's the end of Rescue Bots. Right, okay, we're going to develop something else, Cyberverse, reinvent it, Earthspark. I think Transformers will endure all of us.
Do you ever remember that scene in Big when that it's not what's his name?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks' character had the toy which it's a robot, it transforms into a Autobot, and going, what kids would love that? And I thought, I like that. That's awesome. It's a big robot and it transforms
into a building. Did the toy company make it recently? Didn't somebody at least show a prototype of actually like the actual buildings? Nobody wants a toy. They want bugs, and then didn't they have on the table bug Transformers at one point? And they were, I think, sure they were the Bandai ones that became part of the Transformers line, the deluxe style ones. Yeah.
They could make that a horror movie. Can you imagine a transformer, a robot is a house, and when it transforms, everyone gets crushed inside, and it just moves to a new location in the street.
Didn't Simpsons do something like that once? I might be imagining it, but anyway.
Simpsons is always foreseen in the future.
It is scary sometimes.
What do you think, Rohan?
So I totally agree with everything you guys have said. I think you've summed it up really well. I would not disagree, but I think that there is a slight take on what you've said, in the sense that one of the things about Transformers definitely timeless, agree with that, but I think it's come right at the perfect moment for the audience for life today. And what I mean by that is, if we think about when it was launched in the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 20s, we are now living in the most digital age there ever has been. We've got things like artificial intelligence becoming a thing all around us. Robots are at their absolute coolest. And to all of your points, the things that have endured the most that we've been talking about from toy lines, from cartoons, have been the ones that have got the concepts that can sort of stand the test of time or are absolutely most poignant right now. And I feel like Transformers is one of the epitome of those, in the sense that, as you said, They're robots that transform into cool vehicles or war machines or whatever is the case. And you can't change that concept, right? From Transformers. Okay, you can make beasts, and they did, and they recycled that. But if you look at the longevity of it, predominantly it's been vehicles. It's been, as you said earlier, it's gone back to Generation 1 style of vehicles and that stuff. There isn't a lot more that they can do. They've got rock laws and whatever, but the actual concept is going to be there for some time. And as Pete said, I think it will actually endure past all of us until a point in time when AI becomes so advanced that people look back and say, do you remember when they had those robots who did those stupid things and they went on those missions and they fought against each other, which is going to be hundreds of possibly thousands of years down the line. But we are really living in the sci-fi time right now, which is why Star Wars is so popular, Marvel is so popular, Transformers is so popular, and I think that's one of the key reasons why it is for the masses going to be ever poignant and ever popular for the next foreseeable future.
I mean, when you look at AI was getting used in the 80s. AI,
it was.
artificial intelligence has been there. The thing about artificial intelligence is becoming more mainstream when your typical person at home can now start to utilize artificial intelligence. But it's been there, it's been designing stuff, it's been producing content, and we might not have just been aware of it, but it's been there.
No, you're absolutely right, and I think that's to do with the timing. Like Transformers came out in the 80s, AI launched in the 80s, and
we know this though because we've all seen the film War Games, right?
Yeah,
that's AI. That's not AI.
I've got my notes in code already.
Have you not seen War Games, mate? Get on a streaming site, find it. It genuinely a
I'll
great
check it
film.
out.
But small soldiers, right?
Yep.
They put in
small soldiers.
The chips,
they put in a computer
what was
chip
that?
in,
Was that late 90s or early 2000s?
Yeah, late 90s. Yeah.
I mean, all I'm saying is, if I eventually ever get a Robeson product, the self-transforming toys, but I'll be watching those things like a hawk, just in case I get up to something not good.
Skynet.
I've seen Westworld. I know how that ends.
But yeah, I thought that was an awesome thing, an awesome question to sort of answer and kind of nearly finish on this. But we have one last thing to show. I don't know if Andy's got it ready yet.
Yeah. Sorry. I am just opening it up now. So if you want to, you intro it. Go on.
So here we've got, and it's up for pre-order, and local independents like Indie Man Toys, Kapow Toys, all the right stuff, and I don't know if it's even a place, but all the independents will be having it, all the cool stuff. All the independents have been showing this, so it's up for pre-order now, and it's also up for pre-order at Hasbro Pulse as well.
So these are the official product shots, and it is, as Jamie just said, it's all.
And I pre-ordered this.
All right, Pete, calm down, Pete. Calm down.
Look, listen to how excited Pete is. He's making sexual grunting noises. That's wonderful.
Amazing call.
There looks awesome. Yeah.
Oh look,
I'm coming for you, toys. I'm going to thrash you
to within an inch of your plastic lives.
Anyway, there he is.
You wish it was an 8-year-old playing with you, son.
Things have taken a dark turn. And there's Code Red on the front.
I've even pre-ordered that, and you know what? I don't like it, and I'm being honest, and I know there's going to be people who love this, and I love the TV series. I do. I just look at it, and I don't like it. It reminds me of Vanilla Ice Cream, and it needs some more color in it. I don't know.
Can I just ask?
This is
has he got a headset?
Sorry, Brian.
Sorry, no, that's all right. Has he got a headset on him? It looks like it is a face mode.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it now just because of that. That's awesome. Sorry, Pete, you were going to say something.
I just feel that these are gap fillers, right? They've got to release something in this time frame, because I'm not going to lie, the live stream, I feel like it was a massive anticlimax, even with the Marvel stuff,
Even though we know it's not a live stream.
Yeah. So Hasbro, if you're watching, up your game.
Yeah, because it could have been the mystery van, Scooby-Doo mystery van. They've already got the colours in one of the figures in the junkyard.
Could you imagine?
Oh, damn it. Then you could use that playset. It would be perfect. It would all fit in. You still can.
I've been building that playset.
Get toe line in there. There you go.
I'm using that, and I'm building that playset.
There you go. Are we done then, gentlemen?
Yeah, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure for all the guests tonight and the real stars tonight, which have been making me well up with the comments and some of the comments that I wish I just shared at the appropriate times as well. Have been amazing, and so thank you so much for taking part tonight and making this a fantastic evening and a wonderful start for the weekend. So goodbye, guys, and have a wonderful weekend. And see you next week. Hopefully on Thursday night, because it's Thursday night, we might be doing a live show. Because on Friday, a lot of us might be getting drunk. So Thursday night,
or we could record it and put it out Friday. Let us know what you prefer, but not here.
Or record it
we're not
drunk.
professional. Yeah, or record it drunk, naked and drunk. Or we might do the Thursday show clothed, dull, and boring.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Tune in next week.
Yeah. So see you next week, which could be a Thursday night. Bye, guys.
See ya.